Okay. Hello, friends. Hi, everybody. How we doing? How we doing? I'm a little curious as to whether many of you are getting the announcement that we are in fact live, but I hope you do. I hope you are doing well out there. It is getting warm, isn't it? It's getting warm. Jour has joined us in our call, so you'll be hearing her voice in just a minute or two. But we are going to do something really different tonight. We're going to do Sandwich of the Week early in the stream. But what we'll do is we'll show it again to anybody who joins in late. So we're glad to do that. So just a fair warning, we'll jump into it sooner rather than later because we're hungry. And I think it is the right thing to do. So I hope you're well. It's nice to see you. I really want to thank you for your support on Saturday. Both during the Grimace milkshake stream and also later in the night when I did this impromptu stream because I was frustrated with my inability to do a Drupal website. But I'm so happy to report that the Drupal website has been completed. The project worked. So a little bit of resume building on my end, and I'm very excited about it. I'm just so thrilled that it worked, and it works. Everything went exactly as it. So I appreciate your sympathy, everybody. I got it going. I'm so happy. I do want to say, I don't think our friend is here yet, but when they get here, I want to apologize to Dark Native for not doing the Bugs Bunny redeem because I forgot. So Dark, I refunded the points to you. If you happen to watch the VOD, just know that your points have been refunded, and I would gladly do it again next time I see you. And it doesn't even have to be a music stream. Like if whatever I see you, I'll try to squeeze that in. So really sorry, but thanks for hanging out last night. Thank you to all of you for hanging out last night. Really great, or not last night, on Saturday night. Really, really awesome stuff. So thanks everybody. This will be a fun one tonight. Yeah, this will be a fun one tonight. All right, so I'm pretty pumped. Like it's been. I had something. I ended up getting a lot of sleep this time, which is kind of amazing. It is kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing. Yeah, I'd have to see. I'm still curious as to whether stream alerts are going out. Let me know if you get them, everybody. But so good to see you. So yeah, one other announcement I'm gonna make is that we have a movie night coming up here on the Sandwich Show. We're gonna do it's not on Twitch, but we're gonna have the movie night on our Discord page. So there's a link to it here in the chat if you're watching in our Twitch chat right now. Thursday night, 9:00 Eastern, we're gonna watch Hook, which was redeemed by our good friend Rahomo, and Rahomo was actually a big part of our stream tonight too because Rahomo was one of Jour's mods. So it's really kind of cool to have this all situated, and this will be a really fun time. So if you do want to hang out with us on Discord to watch Hook, it really was a fun movie when I saw it. The first time I saw it, which was like a year ago, it wasn't even that long ago, and I didn't even think I even finished it. So I get to watch the second half of the movie, and we'll all enjoy that together. This is gonna be great. So those of you who want to join us, there's our Discord link. We'd be glad to have you with us for that restream of Hook on Discord. So, all right, I believe Jour's back with us. Let's see. Hi. Hello.
Hi, hello.
It's really exciting to hear that your channel is only 2 followers away. Only 2 followers, which means
From 500.
Yep. So, folks, and Smack Talk, thank you very much for joining in tonight, and thank you for the gift sub to Jour. Oh my goodness. So kind, Smack.
Well, thank you for the gift sub.
Yeah, very kind, my friend. Hey, happy Monday to you, Rothgar. It's so great to hear you. Now, when you left, Rothgar, I didn't catch that you had an earworm in your for a song called California, and then proceeded to do a rendition of it on elsewhere on Discord. Really cool. So just want to mention that. Hey, thank you for doing I'm glad you like the emotes, Jour. Jour, this is a really fun time of the year. I mean, summer is an exciting time for many. A chance when weather is pretty optimal for about a month of it, and then it gets hot. But you can do so much in the summertime. Like, are you excited about what could be happening in the next couple of months, just in general?
Yeah, I am. Let's see. So summer, I'm a super avid gardener. So
Hmm.
summer is just like my happy place in every kind of way. And so yeah, I think like all the planting is done and now it's just like the watering and waiting. So I'm excited that in the next like week, I definitely can tell that like some of the flowers are going to start blooming. And then every week after that, there'll be something like blooming or tomatoes to eat or cucumbers to pick or whatever it is. So, um, yeah, summer is, yeah, yes.
I
Summer's
mean,
great.
it's perfect weather for that. Tomatoes sound great. Um,
I know there's really nothing like fresh tomatoes, and the rest of the year I buy them from the store,
hmm.
and I'm always like a little sad because they're just never quite as good. And then I get like my delicious garden fresh tomatoes, and it's like a dream come true. And then I have like tomato bliss for like 2 months.
Oh, I love it. That's an excellent skill to have. Let's go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and start stream so we can keep this going. But folks,
Okay.
it's so great to see you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, it really, Rothgar, definitely, it really is, right? It really is. Like it's like a song I hope eventually everybody learns. But what's funny about that? Well, we'll talk about that when we get going. But so good to see you, Rothgar. Oh, hi, it's great to see you. Welcome in, welcome everybody. So glad you can all join us here on a Monday. It's Juneteenth, and we were so glad to honor that moment, hugely historical moment for all of us in America, in the United States. And I say good day. Hello, everyone. My name is Davey. I am a variety streamer based in Los Angeles. It is nice to meet you. This is the Sandwich Show. This is our show where we do all sorts of fun things here, and each week we feature a content creator from really just about any part of the world. Tonight we're going to feature a content creator from the Midwest here in the United States, and she is a great singer-songwriter, and more or less, I'm not sure if I would necessarily refer to you as a like just starting, but you definitely had a really good run in just a short amount of time. But it's our friend Jour, and Jour is known as jourmusic on Twitch. And I'd like to introduce you all to our friend now. Jour, hello, welcome to the show. How's it going tonight?
Hi. It's really good to be here.
I mirror that. It's pretty cool to meet new people on this on the Twitch platform, and I do want to thank our friend Rahomo for introducing me to your show. It is
Rahomo.
It is really, really fun stuff, and it's just, I think there's two things about the channel that are really, really awesome. Like, it's unique. I mean, you're focused a lot on original songs, which kind of speak from a dark point of view, as you've written on your Twitch page, but they also come off of the electric piano sound, which I think is a pretty cool sound. The other thing is the conversations. Like, so, just you think about. I'm sorry to keep rambling, but how is it? Do you feel that excitement in the growth and the potential? 2 followers away from 500, folks. 200. Go out and follow our friend Jour tonight and make it happen if you're not already. Oh, excuse me, guess. But how are you surprised even that, to an extent, that you've had this journey that you have on Twitch as a relative newcomer?
I think that's an interesting question because I started last November, just like 7.5 months ago, and I joined Twitch just as like kind of an experiment. I had friends that had done it. Wax Wayne Music is a personal friend of mine, as and as well as a couple other people. And I was like, huh, like they've been doing this for a long time, and they told me to get into it a while ago, but I sort of like dawdled. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try it and see what happens. I kind of wanted to find a place where I could perform music without all the pressures of like a classic venue. I find that like pressure to be really crushing. So I I just kind of stumbled into Twitch and was like, I'm just gonna do it twice a week. I'm gonna be consistent. I'm gonna try it for 6 months and see what happens. And we just crossed that actually 6 month mark in May. And I've been, yeah, like kind of overwhelmed, like by how, like the thing that shocked me first and foremost is just how everyone who's here to listen to music is just like so supportive. I find like in the world of music, I feel like I'm always like just begging people to pay attention to the music that I'm making and to like try to care. But here on Twitch, like everybody just cares, and they just like if they show up on your channel, it's because they actually care about music and independent artists, and that just like made this space feel so much safer for me as a creator. And so it's made me want to be here more and more and more. Um, I'd love to get to a point where like I can be here more days of the week, but I still am kind of working through like having a job and life balance.
I hear that.
But it's great. Yeah, a rambly question with a rambly answer.
I appreciate that, actually. That's really kind. And I really appreciate the perspective. Mon, it's so good to see you. How's it going? How are we doing? Shout out Monster Murky. Good to see you, our artist friend.
Mon.
Welcome in, Mond. Hello there to you as well. Oh, Mon has a couple things for us. Pump it up. This is my thing. I like to pump it up. I pump it up. Thank you, Mon. And then hydrate command. So let's hydrate. That's a great idea. And I know that...
Yep.
My understanding that in the work you do, I must imagine hydration is very, very important.
I love hydrating.
Yeah. Hey, King, so good to see you. Shout out, King. $4.99. So we're only one away. Just one. Let's go.
If this is a funny joke, so on my stream, whenever I've gotten to a new 100 of followers, it's always post stream. I've never achieved a landmark with my stream live.
Oh my gosh, we've just done it, folks.
500!
Yeah! Let's go. Thank you so much, everybody. Mon and King.
Celebrate.
Ah, it's awesome. Congratulations, Jour. And at least...
Thank you.
And although it was not on your stream, at least it was on a stream. So it's certainly...
Yeah.
Good to have this moment recorded. And anybody else that wants to add to that, absolutely go for it. I'll keep that notification going throughout the show. 500.
Yeah,
what is the
500 followers
dance?
Double up.
Yeah, those are good moves. Those are good moves.
500. 500. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Like, you're very, very kind to support our friend Jour. You will not regret it either. Like, these streams have been really fun. And I tell you what, there are different types of Twitch streams. Like, some of them are really intense. Some of them are really, high energy. They're fast. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of graphics. But then there are others that are laid back, and yours would fall more into the laid back category. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's really great. You get the time to really interact with the people that are watching your show. Yeah. Do you get? And you mentioned how much enjoyment you get from that. I mean, was that your intention from the jump to go with a laid back feel for your show?
Hey Pesno, good to see you. The laid back vibe, yeah, I think like I'm a pretty high energy person, but I'm not like a flashy person.
Mm-hmm.
So like bells and whistles like are not my wheelhouse. I wish so much that I could like have cool lights and do all the things and like get one of those things that has all the buttons that makes cool things happen on the screen, and like those are all like things I aspire to. But for me, I just really like needed to know that I could do basic Twitch. And like I'm really comfortable with basic Twitch, and so maybe like I might graduate to something like more visually intriguing, but I think it's more a reflection of just like my comfort with technology.
No, basic Twitch is really working for you, I think. I think it's really been a great vibe. Absolutely. I mean,
I'm a basic Twitch.
I'm a basic.
Rohomo's jokes are my favorite.
It's what he does, our friends. It's what he does, friends. Like, it's so good to you. Oh, bye,
Senna.
Good to see you. And Tenso Pencil, good to see you. And Mond also has a comment. And with Twitch's community, more being accepting of who you are and what you do. Yes, it's probably the one reason I haven't moved. Exactly. Like,
yeah,
it's not a little thing. It's interesting. I don't know how many other social platforms you are involved. I know you are on Instagram, but
loosely on Instagram. I post like once a year.
Oh, okay. That's
I'm
fine.
really bad with social media. I feel a lot of guilt about that, but I don't. I'm
Yeah.
just not very good at it.
Rothgar says, at least you're not twitching, basically. That's a
What do
good
you
pun.
mean?
I love it. And bye, Santa. It's so good to see you as well. Thank you for joining us tonight. Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. I'll share more about the experience of other platforms in a minute, but first, I think it's time because I know we both have been so excited. And thank you so much for your enthusiasm in putting a sandwich together. I'm really excited to
Oh yeah,
to see it.
I thought about it for a long time.
Oh, well, you're very kind. Let's do it. It's time for the sandwich of the week, and to do this appropriately, we must invite our friends from throughout the Twitch world and other worlds to present a sandwich if they have one. Jour does. Jour, let's see your sandwich of the week.
Okay, here it comes. It's 2 sandwiches.
Whoa!
And so let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Today I was like, I had thoughts about all kinds of different sandwiches I could make, but the truth is I have a gluten and dairy intolerance, so I have to be pretty careful about what sandwiches I eat. And so I was like, you know what sounds really good, because I actually never eat sandwiches. I'm more of a soups person due to the bread thing. And so I was like, but you know what would be so good? It's just like an almond butter honey sandwich. And I was like, I'm just going to go get some bread from gluten-free bread. I'm going to bring it home and I'm going to make a sandwich. I was like getting into the house and I thought, you know, I have like 20 minutes. Why don't I just like make French toast? And so I did. I spontaneously whipped up some eggs, cinnamon, and I put some maple syrup in it. And then I was like, well, it's small bread, so I need 2. So I put French toast and almond butter, and then this is a splash of maple syrup from a tree in my area. My friends made the maple syrup from their own tree.
Not necessarily Canadian maple syrup, but still Canadian maple syrup nonetheless from a tree. That's pretty solid. I love it. All right, yeah. Sure. Let me just quickly show.
What about you, Davey? What's your sandwich?
I'm glad you asked. Here it comes. I wanted to mirror the gluten-free angle, so I did. Tonight, we are going to go with a basic ham and cheese on a gluten-free bun. And
nice. Did you toast it?
I did. I toasted it with olive oil on the pan. All right, so here's where it might get a little bit controversial. Not really, but you know what I mean. Like American cheese. And I just felt like American cheese is a good fit for ham tonight. The ham is a Black Forest ham from Boar's Head. So it is a bit of a dichotomy. Like I like this really, really high quality ham and then this really not high quality cheese.
Yeah, right. Highs and lows.
Just don't get into a sticky situation with that sandwich. I think that's speaking of your sandwich. So yeah, this is mine tonight.
I have a wet rag for my sticky sandwich.
I do see how prepared you are.
I also wore an apron because I'm a spiller.
That's such a smart decision. I should take your advice and do the same. Like that's really great.
Oh, I will absolutely spill on myself. There's no question.
This is great. So let's enjoy. Jour, thank you again.
How do we take the first bite? Is there something? Should we cheers?
We can cheers it. Here I am.
Cheers.
Cheers. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh man.
Breakfast sandwich.
This looks amazing. That looks so good.
It's really good.
You know, I'll tell you what.
What are you guys eating over there? All out there?
That's a great question. Couple things. Bicena says, "Gimme." I hear you. Yeah, but having that extra maple syrup is solid, Jour. Really good call.
I know.
That looks really good.
You have to dip. I'm a dipper. I love sauce.
You gotta do it with the maple syrup. You gotta do it. You gotta do that.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't eat that fake syrup. I'm a maple syrup snob. I only eat maple.
I'm with it. I probably more willing to do the fake stuff, but I love your commitment. This is really good. Like the real deal is really good. Oh, bye, Santa. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. King says grilled cheese, but it's hard to do on vacation. Wow. So you got that in? Props to you, King. Hope your vacation's going great. I'm a Rothgar, being from the Great White North,
Rothgar, you
naturally
know.
agrees with your statement. Yeah, that's the way to go. That's the way to go.
I recently listened to a podcast that talked about how it's healthier to chew your food 40 times before you swallow. I was like, who's got time for that?
I don't have that kind of time. Oh
But
my goodness.
I've been trying to chew more. It's better for your digestion.
I've never thought to count that. I wonder what the average person does.
I think it's like 5 to 10 or like 15.
I'm not going to be anywhere near 40. Because I feel like by the time I get to 40, it's going to be like nothing.
Well, and my jaw, I can't, it'll make
Right.
my mouth hurt.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. That'd be tough. It'd be interesting to
Sometimes
pull.
it's so funny, like medical advice. We're like, how dare they expect us to do stuff like that? But it's just like the truth.
I'm sure it's true. I'm sure it's true. But like you said, that's hard on the jaw. That's hard on the jaw. Like even
It really
chewing
is.
gum. Like I can't chew gum for that long. My mouth will hurt.
Yeah. No, I can't. I don't chew gum. I don't even chew gum. I so a secret here is I dislocated my jaw like 10 years ago.
Oh wow.
I wish it was like I had gotten in like a cool fight where I was like on the right side of justice or something, but it wasn't cool like that. It's just that like I opened the door to my car and it swung back and hit me in the face.
Oh man.
And it like hit me right in like the jaw and it dislocated it for just a second and it popped back in. But it's like I've always had like clicking and locking and pains. Like I don't even chew gum anymore. And I don't eat like steak or carrots because it's just too hard. So sandwiches are the greatest because they're so soft.
Yeah. I can attest to that. And I mean there are some that might be harder than others, like a baguette roll. But other than that,
Okay, fair.
yeah. But other than that, it's pretty easy on the teeth. Sorry, how do you pronounce your name again? Bysana? Cena?
I say Bysena.
Bysena? Okay. Bysena, thank you so much for your kind words. Best podcast I've ever seen. Well, certainly, I can't, I can never completely have an idea of like how I'd rank my own podcast or my own show or our own show, but I can definitely say it's the tastiest looking show. I put this show up with any other as far as food content. Bysena. Okay, nice to meet you. Thank you again for your incredibly warm words. I'll show it again. Like I wanted to like I always had this idea of like putting it like this and just leaving it like this for a second so that people can have it as a thumbnail. That's what they see. So people are browsing Twitch, who are we rating, and then they see the sandwich. That's a dream. Like I just want that to be the thumbnail so that everybody sees. Yeah. Well, smell-o-vision would be good tonight. Smell-o-vision would be good tonight. I would love to smell that syrup and that French toast you're having, Jour.
The house smells so good.
Yes. Yes. I'm about it. But yeah, you've already finished one of them. Almost done.
Yeah. It's because I'm not chewing 40 times between bites. Do you ever get accused of being a fast eater? I mean, no one's like accused me of it. Well, maybe they have. I'm a fast eater.
All the time. All the time. People get on me all the time about that.
I'm a little wolfish, if you will.
We are just so eager to eat things and enjoy them.
Yeah.
And it's just your excitement just kind of takes over at that point. You're like, you should chew slower. You'll enjoy the food more. I mean, I might, but I think one thing I learned about taste is that once you taste something the first time, it pretty much just locks in. Like it just kind of, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain that, but you taste it once and the sensation of the taste is in. So I don't think that chewing it longer is going to add to the taste. It's there already.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah. So I think it's a good defense.
I think you can just also say like, I just enjoy eating it fast.
Yeah. And it lets you do things faster too. And see, Ramos is the fastest eater. Nah, just eat more. Exactly. No, my son says
Mm.
Jour is your teacher. She teaches me Portuguese.
Wait, by Sana, I thought you already spoke Portuguese.
Fascinating. So is it safe to say that's one of the languages you know in addition to English?
Yeah, Spanish and Portuguese was my major in college.
Cool. Mm.
Sim, eu falo português, mas I speak Portuguese, but it's been many years since I've like spoken it fluently. I I got really good at it in college, but and I could read and write it really well. My senior thesis was like 25 pages in Portuguese. But but I didn't get to practice speaking it. On the East Coast in like Boston, there's a lot of Portuguese speakers that live there, but not where I live. They don't come here. It's too cold.
I think Romo's just offered to practice with you. Debemos practicar.
Sí, Rahomo. That'd be really great.
Yep, a practicar. Oh, right on. I mean, I take your word for it on that. Now, it's interesting you mentioned Portuguese and Spanish. The concept is that they're very similar, but there are definitely differences, I think. How would you distinguish the two?
Yeah. Portuguese and Spanish developed separately, like all Romance languages. This was interesting. I learned this in linguistics in college. Because I remember people being like, oh, like if you live in Spain, like Catalan or Catalonian language, like that is more of a language that's French and Spanish. And then like Gallego is like more of a Spanish language that's a blend of like Spanish and Portuguese. But the truth is like Portuguese, Gallego, Spanish, Catalan, like all these languages developed separately in their own like communities. And they all developed from Latin. So Portuguese, at least from a linguistic perspective, is more close to Latin. And Spanish developed further and is more deviant from Latin, I would say. Not that many people even speak Latin anymore, but like as an example. But I really like, there's a lot of overlap, I think. But what I like about Portuguese is it's just like a totally different pronunciation. A lot of the words look similar, but the sentence structure is like probably 80% the same, about 20% maybe different from Spanish. And then of course the cultures of who speaks them is completely different. So Spanish you can think of as being quite expansive in South America. And then the Portuguese colonized Africa. So and Brazil. So like Brazil and then like 4 or 5 countries in Africa speak Portuguese. And I learned Portuguese from someone who was from Mozambique. And so Portuguese that I learned was pretty different than the Portuguese in Brazil, pretty different even from the Portuguese in Portugal. So it varies by country too.
It does. King says, I was always told that Portuguese is like Spanish with a French accent.
I'd say it's more like Spanish with a Russian accent.
Ooh.
It's a lot more, it's more harsh.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And very nasally.
Yeah. I think one thing I don't know a lot about it, but I know a lot about Spanish because like I know Spanish fairly well. I wouldn't say I'm fluent in it, but which is disappointing because I should be. But I'm it's actually my second language, but I do know it very well. Certainly compared to Portuguese, but with Portuguese, I feel like as you mentioned, it's closer to Latin. So like there are more words that kind of end in e, like you kind of have a little bit more of that. And Spanish is kind of based more along O and A, and it utilizes gender. I don't know what the gender situation would be in Portuguese. Is there a gender situation there too?
Yes, they have gendered nouns, and basically nouns. I think are gendered. Yeah.
Oh, Juanita Carl's joined us. Hey, Juanita.
Hey, Juanita Carl.
Good to see you. Shout out,
How
Juanita.
you doing?
Yeah, good to see you again. Obrigado, obrigado. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but shout out our friend Juanita Cow, who's also a variety streamer. And let's see. King says nasal, so don't try to speak it when you have a cold.
That's funny. I know.
Chat's
It
coming.
is. It's very nasally.
Yeah.
It's a little hard actually if you're not a native speaker to create the sound that actually is truly Portuguese. Like I think it's very difficult like it's a very difficult language to
Mm-hmm.
speak well.
Yeah.
If it's not your native language.
I gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's good. It's good. It's good to see how the construction of any language is. So thanks for sharing all that with us.
Yeah, and
Now,
if there's anybody here who speaks Portuguese and differs, like by all means say so. I've just learned it from a scholarly perspective, but not from like a colloquial or like local perspective.
Mhm. Very cool, folks. If for those of you joining us midstream, we are here tonight with Jour, who is a singer songwriter based in the Midwestern U.S. And Jour's music is very very vibey, a lot of vibes, and I know that you mentioned that you tend to write from a position from a dark place, even though maybe you wouldn't consider yourself a dark, moody person in general. So it is an interesting perspective. Like, how would you describe your songwriting process?
Well, that's a good question. First I'm wondering if I have food in my teeth, so that's just
Oh, oh, sorry about that. My bad.
clear.
Okay, you all right? Okay, okay, cool.
Yeah, so my writing process, I think I've said this once before on my stream. I haven't talked about it extensively in a while, but I think it's clear, like I'm a pretty like high energy, like positive person, like bright. I like bright things. I like being active, and I am like pretty, like I guess like, oh my god, I just thought of the coolest joke. I was like, I put the vibe in vibrant.
Yo, yes.
Because like I think I have this like vibrant side, but when I'm like, I think my process my emotions and my experiences of the world in the way that I need to. Thank you, Romo. um the way that I kind of experience the world and process things in the world like on a deeper level, like I need to do that by like creating art around it. It's just how I am able to yeah, it's just how I navigate the world. And so I think that because of that, I find that I end up writing these songs that are about these darker things, sadness or experiences of grief or loss or confusion. A lot of my last record was about feeling confused in the world, and essentially like I don't need to use music to process my more positive emotions. It's just like not something I struggle to process. So I use art to process the more complex sides of my life. And then I just use my life to process my more positive, simple sides.
Ah, okay, that's pretty neat. I mean, and when you talk about the way you sing, like who are your inspirations for what you do vocally?
Oh man. If you'd asked me that when I was like 9, I would have said Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, and Christina Aguilera. um, except for then as I got older, um, I ended up being introduced to an artist named Feist, Leslie Feist, and she, the producer of my second album, uh, was like, "You should listen to Feist," and I was like, "Okay." I thought it was going to be some like weird indie whatever, which it totally is. But I heard her sing and it changed me, and I instantly began writing prolifically after I heard her music for the first time because it just like my producer was like, "You can sing technically well, but you're not really singing with your voice." And when I heard Feist perform, it all kind of clicked for me that like I could use my voice as an instrument the same way that you use a piano as an instrument or a guitar as an instrument or the drums as an instrument, that like the voice is part of the musical mix and it's not just a vessel for delivering words. um it's actually carries as much emotion and musicality as any of the other instruments that already are in the song. And so once I began seeing my voice as an instrument, it really changed the game for me. And that was, I think Leslie Feist was the first person that kind of kicked that off for me. And that was probably in 2012 or 11.
Yeah, and that's when Feist was becoming a thing. And I remember the 1 2 3 4 song. Like that's the one that was all over the
Yeah.
place. Oh, that was a great song.
Right.
Like that's
Yeah. Her album that came out called Metals
mhm.
was the album that really like shook me up. She had one song in particular that I've listened to probably 1,000 times, and it's called Anti Pioneer. And it's just something about it that, like, yeah, it just changed me. I wrote so many songs after I heard that song.
That is so cool
So,
to see that journey. And
mm.
so is it now just to step back to this for a second. Have you seen Feist in person during a show?
No, she just came to
Oh,
town, but I had to work that night. It was like,
oh,
I was really bummed.
oh man. I hear you.
It was like totally a thing. It was like a situation where I was a part of a tribute show and they were
Hmm.
having a rehearsal, and it was like all these artists were coming together to rehearse on this one night. And that was the night that they booked the rehearsal and I had to be there.
Oh gosh, my
Um,
heart hurts. That's okay,
I
but
know. I was like, ah, I have never gotten to see her. I'm dying to see Feist, but I'm sure she's just so amazing.
yeah.
I truly like. I've watched so many YouTube videos of her performing, and I mean, I just adore her. She's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I actually had a chance to see Feist one time too when I was in New York, and I just
Yeah. How was
didn't
it?
plan ahead. It was like it would have been in Central Park. It would have been a great show. Like, damn it.
Ah, you didn't get to see her.
No, I didn't get the same scenario. Like I was just in the middle of other things, and it just didn't. I just didn't
Yeah.
think. And then it was
Poor
like by the
girl.
time I got there, I'm like I lost track of it. So yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Hmm.
all it's all right. I mean, the good thing is that she is still touring. It sounds like so there might be
Yeah.
okay.
Right. I know. I'm like, maybe I should just. I have a friend
Mm-hmm.
who so I'm a personal trainer as well as like a
Mm-hmm.
fitness instructor. Like that's the work that I do outside of Twitch. And I have this one client who like their thing that they do is that they do like music tourism, and they will fly to other cities just to see the artists that they like. So they'll go to LA to see BTS, or they went to Texas to go see Harry Styles, or they flew to New York to see Beyonce. Um, and they do this like many times of the year. Like they are like music tourists. It's so cool. I'm like, I should try that.
That is a cool service. Wow, I love it, folks. We have a raid, Jour. Oh my goodness.
Hey
Room
Raiders,
Kid, what's up?
welcome.
It's good to see you. Oh, here we go. I predict a riot. I predict a riot. Mike, it's so good to see you. How's it going, friend? So welcome in. How was your stream? Our friend eroomekim is I would say variety streamer, but maybe IRL streamer mostly. It's good to see you. How are you, B? Thank you for your support. Thank you for the raid. Everybody in our chat, follow our friend eroomekim. Let's give our friend a shout out. Yeah, I know, and I know that Eroom has said in the past that this raid song is one of his favorites. So I'm glad to do that for you, my friend. How are you doing? How's everybody? Oh, well, thank you. The best raid song. Well, you're very, very kind. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Doing great. I love it. So yes, how would you stream? Yeah, follow our friend eroomekim. Let's go see what was cooking at eroomekim today. Let's see. But thank you, everybody. Welcome in, Miss Jellybeans, Quinn, Alexius, Poor Man, Synthfan23, and Penguin. Oh yeah, Penguin. Good to see you again too, Penguin. Welcome in, and anybody else? No one, 1 2 3 4. I mean, if the raid ends up being like 200 people, like eventually you probably can't do this, but but I can tonight. It's really great to see you all here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. My name is Davey. I am a variety streamer here in Los Angeles, California, and we're having an interview tonight with Jour, who is based in the Midwestern United States. Thank you for the follow. No on 1 2 3. No on 1 2 3 4. Good to meet you. And Mike says stream was cool, great company, and we solved the jigsaw puzzle and played WOS. Nice. Solving the jigsaw puzzle is a big thing.
Jigsaw puzzle.
Big time. Big time. How many pieces was it? I'm just curious.
Anita knows about jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah. Jeff Lynn 2020, good to see you as well. Welcome in. So yeah, friends, and I would also like to invite you all to follow Jour, who is a super vibey. And what was that quote? You put the vibe and vibrant.
I put the vibe and vibrant.
Yeah. So mods, let's get if we can shout out if we can go to use exclamation point guest. We will give you the link to Jour's channel. Follow Jour because it's really, really cool. Not only solid, very fun music, very good music, but also really fun conversations and to go with the really good music. So, thank you everybody. Thank you everybody.
Baby.
Absolutely. 221 pieces was the jigsaw puzzle. Was interactive with chat. Okay, great. Well, I mean, I think that's good for a single stream because, like, you know how long? I mean, it would take like a week to do 1,000 pieces. Like, have you ever, what's your experience doing jigsaw puzzles, Jour?
Yeah, I usually do them with my grandma,
Mm-hmm.
and she likes the big ones because she wants to work on it for a long time. But if they're too hard, then she gets discouraged. But the most recent one that I did with her, like not this recent Christmas, but the one before, it took her like 9 months to finish, and she had to have my cousin's husband finish it because it was beautiful. It was a Klimt painting. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Klimt. He's an Austrian painter who painted The Kiss. And I don't know if it was The Kiss. It might have been a different one of his paintings, but it was a really beautiful puzzle. But a lot of it is like gold and gray and brown, or like golden stuff, and then like brown stuff was the background. So just like kind of fuzzy, ambiguous. Hard to find, hard to connect the pieces logically together. But on like another one that she did that was like a lot easier, it was like a Yellowstone puzzle, and that had like a little bit more like obvious things. So mostly it's Christmas or Thanksgiving with my grandma, who's turning 90, by the way, on Friday.
Oh my goodness, happy early birthday to your grandmother. That's what a great milestone. Happy birthday.
I know.
Grandma.
So cool. Her name's Mimi, or well, that's her grandma name.
Mimi. Oh, yeah. I hope it's an amazing, amazing birthday weekend for your grandmother. And what a blessing, honestly. That's great. I wonder what kind of things would you know what her favorite kind of cake is for a birthday cake? That'd be an interesting question. Oh, I forgot to
I want to say Mimi's probably more of a pie person.
Okay.
She really loved pecan pie. She's a Southern girl, so she's straight out of Memphis. Fun fact, went to high school with Elvis Presley.
What? Wow.
Yep. For real. She was there. She was there for the big talent show when he had like his moment and all that.
That's
she said he was just kind of like, a normal guy, just bring his guitar around.
Yeah.
And but yep, she went to college with Elvis, and she loves pecan pie, and she loves is that pie? Do you have pie?
I think pecan pie. Oh, my thing? No. This is
your sandwich?
This is my
I'm sorry,
sandwich,
it's a little blurry because my internet's bad.
Oh, no problem. This
I'm like, I just said pie, and are you showing me pie right now?
I wish I had that kind of talent. This is the sandwich we had tonight for sandwich of the week. Just showing it for our raiders. So this was I got a ham and cheese on a
saved my second sandwich.
Gluten-free bun. I don't blame you there though, Jour. Your sandwich looks so good. Like I would probably have not done it any differently than you did. So, this is on a gluten-free roll, which is pretty solid, especially when you toast it. It's good stuff. So,
yeah, gluten-free toasted is usually the right move.
Oh yeah. Rohan was right. I made it prior to stream. It was delicious. What? No mayo. Yeah. We did a baking stream as a reward because we had a big goal for a lemon meringue pie stream. Oh, Jour, it was great. I'll show you the photo of it. One sec. I'll get that to you.
Ooh, oh, that reminds me. My grandma also loves key lime pie. Oh. I also love key lime pie, but I've never had a good one since I stopped eating dairy.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, it was pretty hot to try. Like this pie. So, Crickster82, one of our friends in the community, sent a recipe to me on how to make a oh, there you go. This, I think I'm gonna give you 2 photos. I am so proud of this creation. This was so good. Oh, so Jour, what is your favorite pie before I get into this?
Pumpkin pie.
Ooh, can't go wrong with pumpkin. Great call.
But it's like my pumpkin pie. Like I make the best pumpkin pie I've ever had.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty. Now, what sets your pumpkin pie? Well, maybe do you make the crust as well, or do you do the pie shell? Because I honestly,
Nope, I pour it in a regular crust. The thing
yeah.
that makes my pumpkin pie so good is that I don't measure the spices.
Ah.
It's like I do like heaping measurements of the spices.
Mm-hmm.
I imprecisely over measure the spices.
I actually think that's. I feel like there's something to be said for that, Jour. Like, personally, I. Oh, 3Bs, thank you for joining us in the raid. I appreciate you. Well, welcome in for we're so glad to have you. Don't worry about being late. Nice to see you, 3Bs. I think 3Bs streams too, so let's go shout at 3Bs as well. Books, brews, and booze. I have none of those tonight. I have just a sandwich. But you have some books behind you though. I see you some books in your room, so that's pretty cool.
I got books.
Nice.
Books.
All right. So yeah, I'm about that because I tend to do degrees of that, sort of using my instincts to cook with grilling. Like I'm just like, okay, it looks good. I don't time it that specifically. I'm just like, it looks good.
I'm pretty not good at grilling. That's like a skill. Like I don't like, and some people are good at it. I like would love to be good at grilling. It's just like not something like I'm an overcooker of meat.
Well, maybe there's something to be said about timing, but the thing is you want to use lower heat when you can, especially when it comes to like smoking. You go as low as you can go. Like you don't want to go high heat at all. So anyway, let's go show everybody this pie. This is definitely exceptional stuff. Give me a second here to cue this up. Here we go. I think this is it. Yes. Oh yeah. So
wow.
It was
beautiful whipping cream. Did you make the whipping cream yourself?
This is the lemon meringue cream.
Oh, that's the meringue on top?
Yeah, and I did.
Oh,
it is
delightful.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right, Juanita. Grilling can be very specific, absolutely. But here is another angle, just kind of show you. It was really wild. I had to, I was worried because I've never baked a pie before, before doing that stream. But it was so great. And everybody in chat was extremely supportive. Like they were helping with the directions and everything. So thank you so much, everyone, for
that's cool.
Making this such a great success. And I too did not make my own pie crust because I felt like it would have added too much time and just one less thing to mess up. So I just thought it was.
I know. I think that like pie crust has already been perfected.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't add to pie crust at all.
I completely agree with that statement. I completely agree. Ramos is so good. Oh, and that's the best part. Jour, I got to share slices of the pie with people in the area. And
I was gonna ask, did Rahomo get to taste it during their vacation? Rahomo, did you taste the pie?
Rahomo tasted it during the trip out to. It was it was great. I'm so happy.
So heartwarming.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our friends, Half Pint Carrie and Carlos, also got to taste it. And then we went over to Piano, and Crickster was around there, so I got Crickster a slice. And one of the people we were seeing perform that night, Patty Lund, who is just an iconic like dueling piano player in the LA area. I got to offer a slice to her too, and everybody just loved it. I'm so glad that it turned out so great. So
that's so heartwarming.
King
I love this story.
Yeah, and we had to do a long stream because I didn't catch the detail that you had to let it sit in the fridge for 6 hours. So we were on for
the thing.
We had to be on for 6.
That's so long.
It is.
That's the thing about cooking anything. Like you have to. I always like have learned the hard way, like you, that you gotta like read the instructions in advance because some of these things, like baking, especially. It is chemistry, and like if you screw up the steps, like you've ruined the chemistry. Like some things are so sensitive to that.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. Absolutely, Jour. And it's definitely, but the good thing about that is, even though it required the stream to be so much longer than it should have been,
That is a really long time.
we had so much fun waiting for that pie to
Wow.
gel. We were watching
Yeah.
YouTube videos and things and chatting with everybody, doing point
Amazing.
redeems. So it was fun. I won't go into details because some of those details were revealed some foods that were very, very, very gross. We'll not get into that tonight. I don't. We just had some good food. Like we'll keep the spirit happy for.
Okay.
We learned not to
Wow.
do exactly. Ramos says we learned what not to do with mayo.
I see. That's why people are making jokes about mayo.
This has been happening for like
Inside
2 weeks
joke.
solid too. We're just saw all the mayo jokes.
Still riffing on the mayo
Keep the
jokes.
mayo separate. Exactly. Mayo should be tasted with food. It generally shouldn't be part of the dessert. Although
Yeah.
I will say you can put it in cake batter. My mom does that. It's actually really good. But that's
It
because
is kind of a vinegary flavor, right?
yeah.
Like,
And it's focused it's primarily eggs and vinegar, and it's like it actually works fine. It works really well in cake. But
hmm.
it cannot be the cake, which is what happened here on some of these YouTubes. So like it's pretty
Oh,
nuts.
yeah.
Anyway, boy, we were really off track. I'm sorry, but Jour, thank you for sharing your thoughts on all that too. Pumpkin pie sounds great, and props to you making a great pumpkin pie. Is that like a showcase during Thanksgiving or Halloween whenever those happen?
Yeah, Thanksgiving typically for my family. I was like the pie maker for many years. But then of course I ended up becoming like realizing I had issues with dairy and gluten. And so I could no longer eat the pie. So I did make the pie still for a couple years, but I couldn't like taste it. And that just got depressing. So I got
Oh,
taken off pie duty.
oh, I gotcha. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
understandable. Yeah, because that's got to be Yeah, I can understand that. The pain. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. Um.
But I don't know, in the last like 5 years, like the dairy replacement, like alt dairy industry has really like taken off. And there's some really, really good options out there, like that you can still like make really good stuff with. And I
Yeah.
think like I tried to make a gluten-free, dairy-free version of pumpkin pie like 8 or 9 years ago when I had to stop eating that stuff. And I think that like given the options now, I would be able to make a much better pie that would like approximately resemble what I used to make. I think the odds are pretty. In fact, I should give it a try this year.
Ah,
I'm inspired.
I think it's very very much on the. It can very much work. I think it can really work out for you because if you think about it, I've had some gluten free cheese and it's pretty good. I mean, honestly, I thought I thought it was pretty good. Like it would be a very worthy substitute, just as an example. So I
Yeah.
definitely think you have a. It could turn out really well. Could be a potential
Yeah.
baking stream. Like that's
There's there's totally yeah, that's an idea. I've never tried a like so tell me how did you set this up? Like
that's
where
great.
did you like did you how do people do baking streams? My stuff's like in a totally different part of the house.
Yeah, no, I think it's actually more complicated than
You're
it
like a
looks.
GoPro on your
Pretty
forehead.
much have to do one of two things. Actually, GoPro would actually not be would be actually not be a bad call. Like that would actually be pretty nice. That would work out
Hmm.
fine. You either get a laptop and you do the stream entirely from the kitchen, and then you just get like you get a camera and a microphone, and you can go as fancy with that as you want to. Or you
Yeah.
can do all that, but then like send it as part of a video call with yourself, which is a unique
Oh.
idea. This was what I did for the stream because that way I can continue to use this room too for part of the stream and like control
Yeah.
things from here too if I needed to. So it was a very unusual arrangement, but it was a really good result, and especially with a
It's
pie.
quite innovative.
Yeah, thanks.
Mhm.
Rahama says I'm still waiting for a good gluten-free tortilla for burritos. Interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing, Rohomo. It's like the thing about not having gluten is that you don't get the same stretchy, you know, factor and everything. I feel like every kind of fake gluten-free tortilla just breaks. And I hate that. That really bums me out. Except for I know I can always eat street tacos because they use corn tortillas.
Ooh. So wait, are corn tortillas more or less? One second, let me just get back over here. Are corn tortillas more or less gluten free? I didn't realize that.
There's no gluten in corn.
Wow. Fun fact. Good
Yep,
call.
it's just really wheat and barley and like a
Mhm.
couple of other grains.
Okay.
But those are the main grains that have it.
Gotcha.
But there's a couple others like farro has gluten or like couscous has gluten in it. But essentially, rye has gluten. And they're like the main grains like we end up cooking with typically, but corn is a gluten-free grain, as is oats, as are oats.
Oats. I like it. All right, Jour. So I think we've reached the point in the show where we can now give our friends in chat the opportunity to ask questions. I do want to make a reminder, a couple things. So for friends from the raid, or friends here, follow eroomekim if you want to catch some more IRL streams and puzzles and things like that. Give our friend a follow. And further, those of you who came in from the raid, I'd like to remind you that we have a movie night coming up on Discord. So for more information, !movie. We're going to be showing Hook in a couple of days, so I'm very excited.
Hook? That is an oft-quoted movie of mine.
Ooh.
I often, like, when things get really excited, I'll
Yeah.
do, like, Rufio, Rufio.
I love it. I love it. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join us.
Wait, when are you doing Rufio? I mean, Hook?
Rufio. It's Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern. Thursday night. So, more details on Discord. Oh no?
I'll be at my grandma's birthday.
Oh, that's all right. No worries. No worries.
I mean, that movie.
Well,
Bummed to miss it.
Aw, but have a great birthday. That sounds like a great time. Should be really cool.
Yeah, Mimi's 90th birthday.
That's
definitely probably a better use of my time than watching Hook, which is still a good use of my time.
I completely agree with that statement. Yeah, you definitely don't want to miss that. That's a huge milestone. Huge milestone. Once in a lifetime milestone, actually. But
yeah, really.
Like
any birthday, I guess.
Right. I was just saying, like literally any birthday is a once in a lifetime.
Lifetime experience.
I guess I overthought that one, didn't I? Oh my gosh, that's great. We have a question in the queue already. Let's get this. Oh no. This is from. I think this is from a previous stream. Never mind. Okay. Romo says, "Nah, I turned 39 twice."
Have you started counting backwards, Rahomo?
Oh, it's one of those. You know, I love these milestones which you can go to again and again. It's gonna be my 20th birthday for my 21st birthday for the 20th year in a row. You know, we always had those like moments, but so everyone, I'm really excited. So now this is the unique aspect of our sandwich show. We like to give you the opportunity to ask questions of Jour. They can be about anything in what we call America's favorite moment in Twitch broadcasting.
Do the dance. It's time for random questions. Great stuff. Ask us anything.
I love the spirit, Jour. We want to say hello to Bredington Frothing Slosh. Good evening to you too, my friend. Hope you're well. Yeah. Brett's also a variety streamer and a podcaster. Go follow our friend.
Brett.
Good to see you, Brett. We just had an extensive conversation about pie too, like the lemon meringue pie and so on. So now, I'd like to offer you all a chance to ask questions of Jour. It can be about music. It can be about pies, foods, really anything. Exclamation point question followed by your question. Enter that in the chat, and we'll take your questions in order tonight. So queue's already open, so feel free to get those questions in, and let's hear what you got to say. There's be a lot of opportunity for all of you. It is really cool to hear from your regulars tonight. That's one of my favorite things about doing the sandwich show, is like seeing everyone's community come in and all the different faces and names that come with a given community.
Rahomo, the answer to how did you find the coolest mods on Twitch? The answer is that the mods found me.
Yeah, that's actually true. I feel like that's true.
The coolest mods on Twitch found me.
And Rahoma, we give you so much respect for that. And as I mentioned,
Mod love
big
to
time mod.
Homo.
Give us. We don't have to wait till the end of the stream tonight, everybody. Mod love in the chat now. Give it to everybody. Everybody.
Send that mod love to Homo.
Okay, just I went to the mod supermarket.
Went to the mod supermarket.
I love it. It's good to see you, King. Hope you're doing well out
Also,
there.
I feel like a little self-conscious that I'm heavily breathing into the microphone. So if you guys like just hear me breathing
Oh no,
too
no
much,
worries.
just like say something because I'm new to this microphone and I I don't know if it's like if you guys are hearing me breathe.
I don't think it's and the cool thing about this Shure SM7B, this microphone, which I also have, is that it's not quite. It can do that, but the cool thing is if you're like over here, it doesn't pick. It's not as sensitive in picking up things around. It's a lot more directional, which really works in everybody's favor, and particularly if you're playing an instrument, it doesn't hear the plucking or the playing of the keys as easily. So that's
Yeah,
really nice. That's
right.
really, yeah, it's really nice. Rahama says no refunds.
No takebacks.
So the next question, this is from Breddington Frothing Slosh, and a really pertinent question because I know you're in the scene. Like you're pretty. I mean, you'd be closer to Chicago than I would be, basically.
Oh yeah.
So the question is Chicago deep dish a pie or a sandwich?
Okay, so like when I've had Chicago deep dish, it's like in the dish, and then I like it with extra sauce on top. I'm gonna have to say pie. It's a pizza pie. It's got the crust, goes all the way around, and then you like put the stuff in the middle and you pile it up. Yeah, I mean, unless it's like an open faced sandwich. Now, here's the thing. The question is, do you fold your pizza? And that would be the right time to ask if it's a pie or a sandwich.
Yeah, you cannot fold a Chicago deep dish.
I don't think you can.
That'd be some
I think
result.
it has grounds for being a sandwich if it's being folded, which is more of a hand tossed thing.
Right. I do think that a pizza, I would qualify pizza as a pie. I wouldn't. I mean, a deep dish pizza as a pie. I would not. I would not qualify a deep dish pizza as a pizza. It's just so different, you know.
Yeah,
But
but
so
it's so good.
it is good. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I love it too. Definitely, and I love the extra sauce call. That's a great call, Jour. Great call.
Do
Extra
that
sauce.
too. It's
Ooh.
like, but I like saucy things. You know, like I had my sauce for my sandwich,
Mhm.
which was maple syrup. I'm like, I like to ask if people are saucy people. I'm a super saucy person. I like more sauce than like the thing I'm eating. Like, you know, like I'm definitely like a 6 packets of ketchup kind of person.
I love it. 6. Wow. Is that with fries or just with everything? Like, is that?
With fries.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
you
definitely.
just I run out so fast.
Yeah, I completely vibe with that. Completely vibe with that with the fries. You can never have enough.
I have been criticized for eating fast and for the amount of ketchup that I eat.
But surprisingly, these two things are common in the human populace, I would say. And so I
It's good. It's
That's-
like sugary tomato juice.
yeah, I'm with it. Almost as you need new friends. Oh my goodness.
New
Hi.
friends.
Savage Rohomo. Oh my goodness. Or are you saying? Oh, I see. I'm not. I misread that comment. What he's saying is, he's saying that your friends getting on you means you need new friends.
Oh, being on my case.
Yeah,
about
that's what he
eating.
was getting-
It was
that's what-
probably like my
Yeah.
cousins or something.
Yeah.
It was when I was young.
Yeah, and I
Now
completely-
people are too polite to say things like that.
I completely agree with Rohomo though. It's like, you know, I don't think that's something to be judging. I feel like it's if it's in your wheelhouse, roll with it. I don't think it's such a problem.
Yeah, it's in my wheelhouse to eat fast with a lot of ketchup.
It's in your wheelhouse to eat ketchup really fast. Well,
Yeah, not plain though.
Yeah.
Ew, it needs a vessel.
that might be over the top. You're right.
But like, oh my god, grilled cheese sandwich, ketchup, dip,
Ooh,
eat, delicious.
King Jambreaker.
It's, you know, people do tomato soup with their grilled cheese. I
Right.
just like my soup thick.
That's a really good question. I don't think I'd do that. But would any of you in the chat do ketchup with your grilled cheese sandwich?
Oh, it's so right. It's so right.
Interesting. Never tried it actually. So,
Davey, you gotta try it, sandwich guy.
Yeah.
You gotta try it.
oh, King's about it too. King says, "Yup, pro ketchup grilled cheese." All right,
Yes.
there we go.
That's it.
Let me, Brett, go ahead and re-key your question again. I still had your other one in there, so go ahead and throw that back in there. But Brett says here on this channel everything's a sandwich, which is true. I've been extremely inclusive of like what is a sandwich on this channel, especially lately. Like we definitely have pretty much allowed like
You
everything.
probably had the hot dog conversation, haven't you? Then
We sure, yeah. It was a dominant part of the, it was a dominant part of the show in 2021.
I think a hot dog is a taco.
I think it's a taco too. I think there's definitely taco vibes with it. I also think it's a sandwich now. I think it's a sandwich. I think it's a hot dog. I think it's a pastry. It is really part of all of these families in from the way I see
It's
it.
really the Venn diagram of that.
Almost as nothing's real anymore. We broke Davey. No, it's actually quite accurate. Yeah, I have been broken. King says hot dog convo happens every 3 weeks continuous. It really does. Like, so it's.
Yeah, it has to.
I feel like you might eventually be seeing some of that conversation too from time to time. So, let's see. Steven, so good to see you, Steven friend. Shout out Steven friend. Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Hi.
My wheelhouse is square. Judge me. I'm not judging. I'll let the others do that though if they want to. But, Brett says I have a very hot take on ketchup, but I keep to myself. That's fine. Fair. I mean, I never like people be on different sides of it. That's all right. Okay.
I recently bought a ketchup with truffle oil in it, and that has been really delicious with my chicken nuggets.
Whoa. I never really tried. Yeah, I'd have to. It's one of those things that I should just try to try. It sounds. I don't know if I do with ketchup and chicken nuggets, but if it has truffle, it might be pretty good. So why
Ketchup and chicken, like that's how chicken nuggets get eaten, is with ketchup.
really? I went with.
Ever since my youth.
Oh wow.
What do you eat chicken nuggets with?
Oh, there's a lot of things. You know, you have honey mustard sauce. You have sweet and sour sauce. You have barbecue sauce. There's Thousand Island, ranch.
Oh,
A lot of different choices. I mean, ketchup is okay.
Wow.
I wouldn't shame you for it at all. I've not tried it really.
I've never thought of anything else.
Interesting. But I think I like the idea of doing truffle oil with it though. That sounds pretty good. Imagine truffle
It's in
oil
the ketchup. The truffle oil's in the
ketchup. Ooh, saves a step. And that's even better like if you do it with fries. Like that would be fantastic.
Yeah, with fries. Yeah, I just didn't have any.
That's really great. Brett says, well, barbecue sauce is just ketchup with other spices anyway. I suppose so. I think that's right. That's true.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. E-Room says barbecue. Brett says honey is the S tier chicken nugget dipper. Yeah. Well, wait, just honey? Like honey by itself? Or honey mustard? Or because either one is pretty
Honey
good.
mustard is something. I did get into honey mustard when I started eating at Culver's.
Oh, you have Culver's. Oh, I love this. I'm gel.
Yes.
I love Culver's.
Delicious chicken fingers and crinkle cut fries.
Yes. So I had Culver's once. So Culver's has made it all the way to Denver. So one time I went to Denver to visit a friend, and we got Culver's. It is so good. It is
So good.
big time S tier.
Did you get the butter burger?
Yeah, absolutely. Staple butter burger, right? You got them, got the
Delicious.
fries. Yeah, that butter burger is like it's the real deal. It's really good. I mean, it's thin, but that's okay. I mean, that's kind of the idea. It's a smash burger. So
Kind of the thing. It's crispy and
yeah.
kind of crunchy patty.
Oh, they
It's
nailed it. It's a great
Yeah.
texture, like for a burger, and the bun too. I think the bun is also really nice and crispy. Like it's a good burger. It is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't go wrong. The crinkle cut fries are
Mhm.
so thick. And I just love a thick French fry.
Yeah. I like them both ways. Although I think where I really want to be is in the middle. Like if they're too thick, I feel like they're just too much. But if they're
They're
too
just pieces of potatoes.
yeah, you've seen them, right? Like those really giant wedges. Like those are
Those
like
wedge ones. Yeah.
yeah. And then the shoestrings are almost like fried onion strings at that point.
I was gonna say they're like like a
Yeah.
fried onion string. I don't like those.
I don't
little
like those
skinny
either. Yeah,
either.
not a fan.
Yeah.
So keep those opinions coming. I really love all the chatter so far. Like, if you had honey dipped fried chicken, life changing. I think so. If Honey's kettle fried chicken in our area in LA, like, if that's what they do, then I absolutely have at it, and it's pretty good. Aza, so good to see you. Hello, Aza. Just listening at work, but you guys are making me hungry with this awesome food talk. Well, it's so good to see you.
Sorry, yes.
Sorry, we're sorry. I'm sorry too, Aza. It's good to see you again. Welcome. Okay.
Feels like we probably make a lot of people hungry on this show.
Oh yeah, that's what we do.
Literally the subject, the center of subject matter is food.
Sure, I would say it. Like I think the number one comment made on this channel, regardless of what the topic is, it's always like, "Oh man, you just made me hungry." It's like the number one comment. It's pretty good. Okay.
The risk of listening.
I can only imagine what it would be like if I was in chat, like watching this kind of show. Like, I can imagine I would also get pretty hungry.
Yeah.
King says okay, so King's got the next question.
Oh, questions, right?
And but he also says it is in the fine print when you follow this channel, you will be hungry. Yeah, it's just like, like you go to water amusement parks and like you will get wet.
You'll get wet.
Yeah. So King's question in the queue is, living or dead, which 3 artists would you most like to perform with live on stage, Jour?
Oh. Okay, so that's like, I'm clarifying this question, like I open for them and they headline, or like I co.
It's a collab. So you are playing with them at the same time.
With them at the same time. Ooh. All right, let me give this some thought. I think, well, there's a couple different things I like about music. Like, as a singer, like if I want to be like sharing center stage, to be like center of attention on a song and say like a duet or something like that. It'd be really cool to like sing different parts with Billy Joel. Like, if we could do a thing, that'd be really cool.
I love this.
But if I were to do like harmonies with somebody, I really love like a beautiful harmony that's like unfolding in kind of a delicious way. And so I think if I could take the place of Joy Williams in the Civil Wars and sing with John Paul White, that would be really cool. And last, thinking more deeply here. Trying to decide if there's somebody I'd want to like play keys with instead of maybe not necessarily singing, but playing in their band. I think the answer to the third answer is the artist that I already play and sing with, and his name is Chris Koza.
Ooh.
Because he's a good friend, and I really love his music. It's so beautiful, and he's really prolific and writes amazing songs. And I love singing with him, but I love playing his music too. And I find his music to be really inspiring.
That's really cool that you included an actual collaborator as part of the answer. I think that's the first time we've had that, and I love that. I love the call. That's pretty cool. So,
yeah, I should write his name here.
Okay. King, thank you for the question. Great question. Like, King has asked that question before too, and it's always good to see the different responses we get each time. The Billy Joel response is really, really interesting. Rahomo, I love the emote as well. Chris Koza and highlighted. But is Chris Koza like on socials at all?
Yeah, everywhere. He's tours regularly. He's living in Colorado now, so I
Okay.
don't get to play with him that much anymore. But
Oh.
when he's here, I do play with him. Um, but he mostly tours Midwest, and he's been getting busy in Colorado. So if you're in the Denver area, at all, or find yourself in Denver, you should definitely look him up. He's an amazing performer, a great storyteller. He writes just like, I don't know. The thing about Chris is like he's really a kind person, but sometimes I laugh with my friends or that both know that we all know him together, and I'll just be like, yeah, like you open your mouth to have like a normal conversation with Chris, and then Chris speaks back to you in poetry. Like
Wow, that good, huh?
he's
Wow.
just like a poetic human, like, and not in a way that's like pretentious. Like he's just very thoughtful about the things that he like writes and says, and he is
Mhm.
just like paints beautiful images in his music, and he creates beautiful soundscapes, like even just with like normal analog instruments, guitars, harmonicas, keyboards.
That's pretty
Just really
awesome.
gifted. Yeah,
Um,
I'd say he's like one of the more underrated musicians like of our generation. I wish that his music could reach more people.
aw. Well, I appreciate you getting the word out about Chris Koza. That's really great, folks. If you can, if you'd like to, absolutely follow Jour's friend Chris on all the platforms if you can find wherever you can find him. And so King Jambreaker, thank you very much for the question once again. Really good stuff. Great answer, Jour. Thanks so much for your insight on it. Now to Rahomo's question, which is, which instrument do you wish you could play?
I mean, it's kind of boring, but I just wish I could play guitar. It's an instrument I've wanted to be able to play well for all my life. But because I started piano at such a young age, I became very good at it before I learned guitar, and I found guitar to be too difficult because I didn't like learning. It was too
Oh,
I
I
love
see.
learning, but like um I just found it really hard to like make the mental shift to guitar. And I have tried many times in my life to learn it. And because piano's come so much easier to me, I just give up and go back to piano. So I wish that I could just know guitar because I've always been inspired by like the soundscapes that like guitar just is so versatile. Like you can just play acoustic guitar, or you can play electric, or you can add pedals, or you can play bass, or you can loop. There's just and you don't. It's easy to travel with. Like a keyboard's such a pain. Like a guitar, you can play without electronics. Like you can play a guitar anywhere, and you don't have to plug it in. Whereas a keyboard, you always have to plug in. So I've never been able to busk or do anything like that. Like it's just I've always wished I could play guitar. Yeah, Rahomo, it's a stack of pianos. Have I said that on stream before? It's a 6 pianos stacked on top of each other, and they're all askew. It's like so silly.
That's an interesting analogy. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was too hard for me.
No, I hear you in that. I mean, but it's interesting because I feel like guitars are also more work because you have to keep tuning them all the time, whereas pianos, I feel like that's less of a concern. So there's give and take with both, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I know. They definitely have their advantages. And I know so many people who are like, oh, I wish I could play piano.
Hmm.
It's like, I love that I play piano. It's not that I would want to stop playing piano. It's just that I wish I had an additional skill of playing guitar.
Oh, I
I wish I could
understand.
just wake up knowing it.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be great if you're just like one day you woke up and it's just like boom, you have like.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
cool.
it's not like I guess I'm not afraid of hard work. It's just it feels like I'll always be catching up. Like all the things that I wish I could do, it's like everyone else has been doing for so long that they're really good at it. And I feel like if I were to try to really put the time in, like maybe in 5 years I could be really good at it, but like I would be bad to mediocre for so long.
Hmm.
And I just don't know if I have time for
I gotcha.
that.
I gotcha. Well, it's a great answer though. It's neat to hear that perspective, and I'm sure the answer would be different for everybody. So, thank you so much, Rohomo, for the
Mhm.
question. Next question. I have a question. We answer. I've been slacking on this lately, so I made a point to remind myself to ask the breakfast question. So you just had some French toast. Um.
Yeah.
So here's a question: pancakes, waffles, French toast, or crepes?
Waffles. Okay, there's no, okay, wait. There's two answers.
Okay.
Okay. There are these gluten-free pancakes at Trader Joe's that come in a pack of 3 and they're small. And they come with like 4 packs of 3 small pancakes. So when you open the packet, like you open the box, there's a bunch of packs of 3 small pancakes. And so I like the ones they're in the frozen section, and I like they're little. And what I do is they're gluten-free, and I put them in. You guys probably will think this is gross. I love this. This is so good. Okay. It's kind of like, it really is kind of like French toast, but a pancake. So what I do is I put the pancakes in a skillet, the skillet that's just big enough for me to make them like the shape of Mickey Mouse. Not to look like Mickey Mouse, but that's just an analogy. Like ears, face. And they fit just right. And I let them start to warm up a little. And of course I use coconut oil on the bottom. I don't want to use like olive oil because that'd be too savory. So I put coconut oil, so it's a little sweet. And then I let them warm up, and then I crack an egg or 2, and I smear it all over the top, and I let it fall in the cracks, and then I lift up the pancakes to let this egg get under the cracks and all around. And then when it seems like it's cooked as much as it can be on one side, I flip it over and I let it finish cooking. And then I slide it onto my plate, and then I cover it in almond butter, and then I pour maple syrup on top.
I love, yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Which is basically the sandwich that I made tonight.
Okay. It looked great.
It's basically French toast pancakes.
We're almost like entries, complicated pancakes I don't know. Invoked one time by Jour since October 2021. Oh my goodness, that's great. So, but I think now, wait, is that a French? What is it though? Is that a pancake? I guess. Do we call that a pancake?
French toast pancake.
French toast cake.
But I eat it the way I would eat a waffle, and when I eat a waffle, I put almond butter and syrup on it.
Okay.
It's a waffle French toast pancake.
That's definitely a crossover. You know how like you have crossover albums? Like that's a crossover breakfast. Like that's like all the things at the same time.
It is again the Venn diagram of breakfast.
Unacceptable. You broke the question. That's so great. Yeah, our mods are stumped. We stream over.
Well, the thing is it's so sweet. The reason is because it's so sweet to eat a pancake with just the syrup. So like I want to add protein so I don't have like a sugar crash. So I put in an egg, and then I put on the almond butter so that I like digest it more slowly, or else I'll like get really excited and then I'll get really sleepy.
Oh yeah. Cool side
managing my blood sugar.
Oh no, that's always solid strategy. You know, I mean, overdoing it can be rough. Sugar crashes are not good. Not good.
But it tastes so good, and it tasted a lot like what I had tonight.
Ooh. Yeah. So I think Rohomo out of all that put down pancakes. I'll take that. We'll take that.
Pancakes.
Executive decision. Kuya Side Music has joined us. What's up, Kuya? Good to see you. I was hanging out with Kuya last week too. Like we were at a bunch of like concerts. Like we ran into each other a bunch.
Nice.
So
in living person.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're both
so
around LA.
cool.
We're both in LA. So yeah.
I've never met anybody from my Twitch sphere, except for Wax Wayne Music, who I know from real life, but I would love to meet some Twitch people. Hey, is anybody going to the Twitch cons?
That's a great question, everybody. Feel free to chime in. But yeah, let's go shout out Kuya Side Music too. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Hope you've had some good meals, particularly sandwiches. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody in the chat right now, but my sandwich is done. I have finished it. Oh. All I have to is a napkin. Sorry.
Wow.
Oof.
I finished my sandwich very fast. I had 2 sandwiches.
Oh man.
Leftover syrup dribbling down.
That is a sign.
I just want to like lick it off the plate.
I don't blame you though. I don't blame you. Like that. Yeah. Curious saying come to LA. Yeah, definitely. But You
Ooh,
said
yeah, I love going to LA.
yeah. No sandwich scam. I'm out. Well, better luck next time, Kuya. Nice to see you again, brother. But yeah, TwitchCon Vegas. You mentioned you had interest in it. I know there's
Yeah.
still things to plan. I imagine on your end, but I do know I went to the Twitch TwitchCon website, and they still have some
Yeah.
pretty solid rates for special like TwitchCon rates on their website. So if you're looking to book a room there, it's
I
on
need
the
to do that.
yeah.
I have to. I just keep forgetting. It's like there's a lot going on. That is a thing to do that I want to do, and I will try to do that
Mhm.
today, tomorrow.
Yeah. We're almost to SandwichCon 2023 in LA. Absolutely. I'm not letting it be anywhere else. It's gonna be here. More reason to come.
Yeah, let's start our own con.
Love it. Love it. That's a great idea. That's something we like to do too. I think you've noticed like some other streamers kind of do like mini cons, which I think are cool. It's a great idea. Really good.
That's so cool.
But I love it. Love your ideas, Rahomo. Awesome. Let's continue with our queue. If you would like to ask a question, exclamation point question followed by your question, enter it in the chat and we'll take it in order. All right. Ozza says it's a baking idea. It's growing on me. Like, what is? Oh my god. This question in the show. Look who's joined us in the chat.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Hey.
Hi.
Who is the best troll? Says anyway, who's Wonderwall?
You're the best troll.
You're very
I mean, and so is there's one more best troll. It's they may show up and be indignant that I said anyway, here's Wonderwall is the best troll. And if they do, I will settle the score. But for now, while you're here, anyway, here's Wonderwall, you're the best troll.
Dig it. All right, so let's continue with our queue. And back to the queue we go. Next question is from Breddington Frothing Slosh. Chocolate.
Don't stop believing he's here.
Oh,
You're the other best troll.
look at these guys. This is like extraordinary. Whenever we see them, we're not even playing any songs. I don't know how they found us tonight.
I know I don't have to play them because my rule in my chat is that if I acknowledge them by saying their names, that if I say the word Wonderwall or if I say don't stop believing, then I have to play it. And so I have to not say those words, or else
Really?
I'm obligated to play the song for them.
Did you develop that rule before you found these folks?
They found me very early on. Like,
Oh, I see.
actually, it's funny because I played Wonderwall on my stream, and that was the day that everybody found my stream because someone posted about it in a Discord I wasn't aware of. And then anyway, here's Wonderwall showed up, and then a whole bunch of other people came with them. That was the day that Jour stream really started working toward affiliate.
Can you imagine? I love that's a great story. Of all the things, Wonderwall is what brought you to affiliate.
Yeah, Wonderwall pushed me over the edge.
Yeah. And Rahomo,
Anyways, don't stop believing. We also love you too. You're
Yeah.
our other favorite troll.
I certainly know you well. Play Don't Stop Believing. You're awesome. It's great to see you, especially at Brooksmore Parks, but everywhere. I see our friends. These two accounts are all over Twitch, which is I don't know how they do it. They find us somehow.
They got ears everywhere.
Yeah. But great to see you
I think
both.
that they have spies.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I feel I'm questioning that too.
They've got they're the eyes and ears of Twitch.
Yeah. Steve and Fred, it's so good to see you too. Shout out Steve and Fred. Don't stop Wonderwallin'. Yeah. Combining the two. I love it. Yeah. So Rahomo, it's in your contract. Yeah. So it looks like you got a little sanctuary tonight then, Jour, so you won't have to play those songs.
No, I'm not playing. I'm not playing music, so I can say it all I want.
Yeah.
Wonderwall, Wonderwall.
Wonderwall says I'm actually Stream Elements alt account. That's great. All right. Now, I mean, as long as our troll account friends are here, we may as well get your opinion on this too. So, Jour, chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Ooh, quick answer. Look at that.
There's no question.
Wow.
Not a vanilla person at all.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, one exception. I do like vanilla bean ice cream.
Yeah, I'm all
if
about
it's
that.
got the little black dots in it.
Mhm.
But chocolate, all hands down, 100%.
I love the conviction. This is great. I mean, that's an answer, folks. Breddington, thank you for the question.
Yeah, specifically dark chocolate. In fact, it's on my profile.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I think I've seen that in the profile. Good mention, the dark
Mhm.
chocolate. King says, I think she said dark chocolate. She did. Dark chocolate is it. So, like, even when you're speaking about dark chocolate, is there a particular type you go for? Because there's so many different blends of dark chocolate.
Yeah, essentially, I'm limited to the ones without milk in them. So
Mm-hmm.
anything without milk.
Okay. Well, that still tastes pretty good.
Usually high in the 70s or higher.
Ooh,
But
70%.
really, I feel like my sweet spot or my bittersweet spot is in the 80s, somewhere in the 80s.
I've had a 90. It's pretty intense. I think
I've
70s.
had a 95, and it is almost like baking chocolate.
That's true. Yeah,
But it's got its moments.
It does. It does. But I think you're right. I think the sweet spot probably would be around 70 to 80. I think 75. Like I've had all those. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with it. I'm with it. Okay, so King's question. So King has another question for you, and the question is: anywhere in the world, which venue would you most like to perform front and center on stage?
Interesting. Let me think about that. There were venues like in my town that I felt that way about, like at First Avenue where Prince filmed Purple Rain. But I actually have played front and center on that stage before. So that's a thing that's already happened, which I was very fortunate to be asked to do.
That's a really cool. That's a really cool choice, by the way. Like that's I didn't. I forgot that that's like an actual venue. I thought it might have been a studio, but that's really great. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, it's a real club here,
Wow.
and I got to play there. I opened for the Cold War kids like 5 years ago or 6 years ago. Might have been in 2016. It might have been 7 years ago. I don't know how long. Maybe it was like, yeah. Anyway, whatever. It was like 6 years ago.
Okay.
But that was a really cool experience. I would say that that's a place where I have performed that I'm really proud of having performed, which wasn't the question. Had I not played there yet, I might still wish that I had. The world thing. It's such an interesting question because I feel like my knowledge of the world stage is maybe limited. I'm not sure that I know enough stages to say. But I do think my sorry, this is a hard question for me to answer. I wish I would. I think, and this is actually where this is the complexity of the question, actually, that maybe you didn't know you were getting into. And I talk about this on my stream semi regularly, but like, I came to Twitch because I had such severe anxiety about performing on stage. And it's not because I don't like performing, it's because I have developed this not rational fear that no one's going to come. And that like the pressure that I feel to try to sell tickets and get everyone there, like it really spun me out of control to a point where I stopped performing live, period, for about 4 years. And I haven't really played shows since 2018. And I came to Twitch as a way to play live regularly in a way that felt safe for me, and where I didn't feel like I was trying to please venues or sell tickets or whatever, or have to promote myself incessantly and spend a ton of money on a band every time and all these things. So like, this is going to sound so damn cheesy, but like my ideal stage is Twitch.
I think it's a great answer, though. I mean, honestly, like there's a lot of, as you mentioned, it's a really great platform. It's very supportive. So I completely, that's an enormous amount of respect for your choice, and I completely understand where you're coming from as far as far as the IRL gigging. It's, as you know, we talked about. It's been talked about on a lot of streams where it can be tough to the pressure to perform live. It's often a real thing, and so I completely understand where you're coming from. And yeah, big time. So maybe like what would be the best version of that? So now this is like a secondary. This is like a tangent on the tangent. What would be your feeling about doing a show on the front page if that was offered to you, or have you done it?
Well, I think what I'd like about, I haven't done it. I think what I would like about that would be an opportunity to connect with more people. And that it's not the performing itself that makes me anxious. It's the fact that like I would have to work so hard to get to the show and everything that goes into promoting it and selling it and everything in advance. When I'm actually there performing, all that is great. But it's the part where I feel like the other bands on the set are going to be mad at me that I didn't draw a crowd, or that the venue will be upset that I didn't sell drinks.
Oh, I gotcha.
Like my crowd doesn't buy alcohol. Like it's very like weird. Like, and so being like front page would be so cool. What a cool opportunity to like expose my music to people, and then also to like build connections with more people around the world. Like that would be outstanding. That would be really amazing.
Well, Jour, I'm really, if that moment does come, I will be extremely excited to stop by to check it out. That sounds great. Well, I appreciate your thoughts on that question. And you're very kind to share that with us. King, thank you for your question. Awesome question. And let's say hi to Art Maze 167. Art Maze is one half of Art and Pete, a singer songwriter, really awesome lyricist.
Oh,
Art, so good to see you, Art. How you doing tonight? Yeah.
Hey, Art.
And oh, you know Art too. Yeah. Art is half of it's really cool to see you, my friend.
Brookstone Bards.
Yep. And Art and Pete have collaborated on the Songwork series on the Brookstone Bards channel. It's really good stuff. So give our friends a follow. What is the discussion about today? It is my birthday. That's right. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Art. Yeah.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, birthday to you. Pop, pop.
That's
Happy birthday, Art.
Yeah, I mirrored that. Happy birthday, Art. Juneteenth, absolutely. It's an awesome day for a birthday. How are you doing, my friend? So what is the discussion about today? We had a heavy amount of discussion about ketchup. Yeah, and we talked about ketchup quite a bit. Sauces, nuggets. We got into so I asked a question to folks who are on stream about what their preference is for breakfast food, and Jour's answer was a pancake, French toast, waffle thing, which is just like all of them at the same time. Breaking barriers, one breakfast at a time.
Breaking barriers and while breaking questions.
Yeah, tomato ketchup. I guess there would probably be other ketchups, right? That's a good question, Art. Like,
well, I don't know. Is mustard a ketchup of mustards?
That's a hell of a question. Yeah, Art says ketchup is a catch-all. Yeah, that's true.
Is mayonnaise the ketchup of eggs?
I think Art says yes. As far as definitely with respect to the mustard. Just 404. That's a very, very well-timed comment, King. I love it. Rohama says, take a look at your ketchup bottle. It 100% specifies that it's tomato ketchup, which is true. I mean,
is jelly the ketchup of fruit?
Yes! It is the ketchup of whatever the fruit is, like strawberry and blueberry, and yes, completely. Juanita Cow says, mustard, a ketchup of mustards. Can't go back now. I mean, it really is.
Well, how far forward can we go? Can we say that guacamole is the ketchup of avocados? Is syrup the ketchup of maples?
I'm not going to say guacamole is a ketchup of avocados because guacamole is made fresh. It's not a processed factory item.
Okay.
I would not do that. But But everything, the other ones, I think you're absolutely right. Like mayonnaise, yeah. What was the other one? Yeah,
Guac ketchup.
yeah, guac ketchup. There you go. Steven says, "Girl is breaking this down." Yeah. Rohan says, "Syrup is ketchup." Of what syrupy
Syrup is the ketchup of maples.
ketchup and maples, and also maybe the ketchup of sugar, because like some of it's made out of corn syrup. So there you go, sugar ketchup. But Art says ketchup was a widely used term for condiments. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So then, would you say then that Thousand Island dressing would be a ketchup of pickles and there's actually a lot of things there, like pickles and mayonnaise and ketchup at the same time. So well, it's redundant, but I think it would be, yeah, ketchup and pickles.
I don't know if dressing is in the same category. I think there's too many things mixed in.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. Because I think you have to.
I mean, and I think guac might be that way too. Like, there's too many other like solid vegetables in there.
I think I vibe with that opinion too. Mayonnaise, relish, ketchup. Pure. Yeah, that's
okay. Here we can even. What if we defined it this way too? I mean, this does start to open it up into dressings, but what if it's like basically one main substance plus sugar plus vinegar? That puts mayonnaise, mustards, and ketchups all in there.
Yeah.
Syrup no more, but what if it's like vinegar, sugar, and one other? I was going to say like vegetable, but eggs are obviously not a vegetable. And mustards is seeds, are seeds.
Okay. Yeah. I think I see where you're going. Yeah, I got that.
Another controversial point is I can't handle catsup, like catsup. Ew, why?
I think that's what the actual word meant, though. So it's just a sort of a variant of that.
It's ketchup.
Yeah, I don't like using catsup.
Makes me vomit. I hate that. I hate that word.
I completely. Yeah, no, you're right. It's a pretty gross word. I'm not gonna lie. Is the cabbage the ketchup of kimchi? Or do you mean? But that's a veg.
It is, but it's fermented with. It's a brine and it's fermented, and ketchup isn't. I don't know. I think that kimchi is too much fermentation. I know I'm getting real technical about this new thing, but
yeah,
I think it's too many. It's not fluid enough.
Mart says my ketchup is at least thrice a day. Sucks for the rest. Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, man, that's a oh wow. It does indeed, Art. Let's keep it rolling. Okay, so let's go. I have enjoyed this tangent a lot, everybody. We'll keep those comments coming, but meanwhile, we have this from Stephen Friend. Least favorite fantasy novel, most favorite.
All right. I can't say it's least favorite, but I just have tried to read it many times and I can't get into it. And many people have suggested it to me. But The Lies of Locke Lamora is a book that I can't get past the first few chapters. I haven't read, and this is like, in the pool of fantasy novels and books, I haven't read that many, right? I think I've read a lot, but for the average person, but not like as many as like the deepest of nerds. So I haven't read any of like the books of what's that? Winter is Coming. What's that called?
Game of Thrones, or the books.
I haven't read any Game of Thrones. Yeah, I've read Dune. I've read the first 2.5 Dune novels. I took a break because it was so dark. The third one was really dark and I just like wanted something lighter to read. But okay. My favorite fantasy is Shoot Me in My Own Damn Foot. Sorry, can I swear? Okay, but like Patrick Rothfuss Kingkiller series, even though it isn't finished, the best fantasy books I've ever read. However, I'm really, really enjoying Brent Week's Lightbringer series right now. The first book in the series is called Black Prism, and I'm now in the second book called something Knife. Can't remember, the Blinding Knife or something like that. And I'm loving it, like loving it, and I can't believe I had not heard of it before. I'm a big fan of Brandon Sanderson, even though I think he's really bad at writing dialogue. His hard magic systems are a big fan. I'm a big fan of his hard magic systems and his
Ooh.
world building, and even his character development. I just think that he's kind of his syntax is kind of lacking sometimes.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Thank you for all these recommendations, Jour. These are great, and the chat definitely is up in a lot of these, and it looks like everybody's into it. Your J-Man, so good to see you. Hello there, welcome in. Your J-Man says, "A Song of Ice and Fire."
I haven't heard of that one.
And Art says, Art Maze's pick favorite Clive Barker
Nerd.
Imagica. So it's
Imagica.
Magica.
Interesting. I haven't heard of those either. Okay, so and then I would just throw Harry Potter in there as like books that I like to read when I'm feeling lazy. I don't read Harry Potter in order anymore. I just like open the book. I grab a book and open it wherever, and I just start reading because like it doesn't. I've read the story so many times. So if I just need some light reading to fall asleep, I'll just pick up a Harry Potter book from somewhere in my shelf and open it to whatever.
Pretty cool. Art Maze says deep nerd. I'll dig it.
Deep
dig
nerd.
It. Well, we.
I call myself not a shallow nerd, but I'm like past the entryway.
This is good. Very accurate.
I'm like I'm like past the vestibule. I'm still in like what's the hall when you walk in? The entry hall.
The veranda. No, wait. What do you call that? Like the foyer? No.
The foyer.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, the foyer of nerddom.
So you haven't quite walked up the staircase yet, or gone into the living room. You're just kind of at that area where you're taking off your shoes.
Taking off my shoes, hanging up my coat,
Yeah.
like meeting people.
Mhm.
You know, being
Yeah.
welcomed into the party.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons. I read a lot of fantasy, but I would say that like these developments are about 5 years old as opposed, or maybe like 7 years old, as opposed to like being born into them and like doing it from a young age.
Gotcha. But yeah, yeah. Because I know that the Game of Thrones books were not called Games of Thrones. So your J-Man is saying that Song of Fire and Ice and Fire is the Game of Thrones. Series. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So oh yeah, Siemens is veranda. So it's probably veranda. Veranda would be where you are. You're the nerd veranda.
Nerd veranda.
Yeah. Art says Game of Thrones is a great series though. Yeah, absolutely. Really.
Yeah, I've heard that, except for like, I guess everybody watched it. And then like, I know the series of books isn't done, but I heard that like the 8th season was a disappointment. And I don't really want to start something that I'm going to be disappointed in.
Yeah.
So I haven't.
Sarah, so good to see you. Shout out Sarah Mahoney Music, the best veranda.
Hi, Sarah.
It's good to see you. Hello. The best veranda is coffee. And Sarah plays piano too, so good to see you, Sarah. Shout out Sarah Mahoney Music. Give her a friend to follow. Art says anteroom. Ah, there you go. I like these ideas, everybody. Yeah. So in the anteroom, you're in the coat check area of, if it was like a public establishment, you're like in the coat check.
Yeah. It's nerdery.
It's like a big sign that says like, and the outside of the building says nerddom, and then
Yeah. And then or maybe like I'm really just like in the preschool, like 5-year-old nerds over here, you know, like 20-year-old nerds over there.
Yeah.
30 and older nerds over there.
Oh gosh, so many layers. I love it. But that's part of why it's nerddom, like because it has layers. It's like it's got so many nuances. I love it. Wow, just a month? That's high praise. Art Maze says the book series is great. Took it out in a month. A month.
Wow.
That's pretty good. Like now, I don't know how many pages each book is.
Reader.
That's still impressive though. Like that's a lot of books. Yeah. Sarah says sometimes.
Okay, well, what's your favorite way to consume books? Like, are you an audiobook person? Or are you a reading with your eyeballs person? Are you a hold it with your hands person? Are you a Kindle digital?
These are great questions. Yeah. Feel free to.
This is for everybody. This is an open question.
Yeah, that's a great question because now we have so many different ways to do it. When we were all growing up, we had the
There was
audiobook
only one
option,
way.
and they were tapes too. Like you had these tapes.
Yeah, tapes. Book on tape.
Book on tape. Mm-hmm. So Holmes' Kindle. I love it. And Sarah says sometimes, but I'm not in the Nord Club. Oh, the Nord Club. Yeah, your Nord is
A Nord piano.
It looks good.
It's like a little bit there.
Yeah. The Nord is what distinguishes a Nord piano as a stage piano, compared to other brands like Yamaha and Roland and those brands?
Well, I think a lot of brands make quality instruments,
Mhm.
but I think what's unique to Nord is that they have licensed many sound libraries, and so you have access to those sound libraries on your keyboard.
Mhm.
And so like you have real Wurlitzer, you have real Rhodes piano too, which I play regularly on my channel.
Mhm.
Many different pianos, but like they're highly regarded for their access to the Mellotron library. And the Mellotron
Really?
is a pretty cool
Oh
thing to
my.
have.
Yeah. I mean, Mellotron, I was just watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos about Mellotron, like literally like a few days ago. And that's amazing information. Like, thank you for mentioning
Yeah.
that. Like, wow. I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
I've used it a lot. I mean, it's just a versatile instrument, so
Yeah.
I've been able to use it for so many different things when I perform.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm hired as a keyboard player. There's just nothing that kind of quite comes close to the sounds that you can save.
That
in
is
Nord.
really, really neat. Like, so I can imagine they're like digital piano. I mean, not digital, but like other electronic piano sounds too. So like one would be like I don't think the Yamaha CP80 would be that because Yamaha would probably have a license on that already. So not them, but maybe there'd be some other ones. Like that is a very interesting fact. Steven's right. Well, first off, let's let's go do that poll. Kane, go ahead and put that poll up for us. How do you consume books? Do you go Kindle, paper?
Or like a digital reading.
Yeah. Do you go iPad, Apple? These are all really good questions. Yeah.
Physical, audio.
Yeah. And Art, when you did read that entire series, did you read the actual paper physical books, or did you do that on Kindle? It's like, I don't know if that necessarily would have an effect on how quickly you could read it, but it'd be interesting to see if you like had all those books in your shelf. That would be kind of cool just to have it for parties. Like, yeah, there's a series. I read the whole thing in a month. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Steven says, I've been looking for a Nord PVN, but I think I'm not hearing the ads correctly. Ignore me. Oh,
Nord PVN.
Oh, okay. I got it.
VPN.
VPN. Got it. Brahmas is the water bottle's back.
I've been searching on Craigslist for Nord PVN. I'm just not having any luck.
Ah.
I'm just looking for
paper or Apple?
Nord
Okay.
PVN.
So Art goes paper or Apple. Nice. So yeah. So when, if you would like to contribute to this poll, you can use any of the choices on there. Audio would have been a big one, I think, like 25 years ago. Today, I think maybe not even 25, like 30 years ago, I think at that point. So I'm going to say physical. Like I haven't, even though I know I can do these other things, I just feel like I have the most ready access to the physical form. So that's the way I do books. Yeah. Your Jamin says, I still like the actual paper. I look at screens too much already. Audiobooks are great, but unless I am driving, it's too easy to multitask and not get enveloped in the story. Yeah. It's kind of the thing, right? Like, when I listen to podcasts, and you mentioned you listen to a bunch of podcasts too, like, do you feel like you need that isolation to really get the contents of a podcast, or is it something that you can enjoy while you're doing things, like you're shopping or going out or running?
I don't know if I have like undiagnosed ADHD or something, but like I can't listen to something if I'm not using my hands to do something else.
Oh, okay.
So like I will get completely distracted. I cannot, like if I'm just sitting and listening, I will not hear anything. So my favorite thing to do is actually to the point of podcast. I love podcasts and I listen while I drive primarily, but I love to listen when I cook and I like to listen um, when I'm like exercising or whatever. But actually when it comes to audiobooks, I was never really interested in audiobooks, but I found that like when I like to knit and I have a big knitting project. I really like listening through an audiobook while I knit a project like a sweater. Um, and it's something that I can like share with other people, like we can do together. And I like that about audiobooks. But I do find them limiting because I only want to listen to them like when I want to sit down. Like it's almost like what I do instead of watching television because I don't really watch TV or have a TV. So I listen to audiobooks maybe when I would watch TV if I did. But I love to read and I read every day and I would say I'm a huge proponent of like a physical book in hand. However, I used to nanny for a family. I just visited them in Boston a couple weeks ago, and they gave me a old Kindle that they had that had all of their books on it. And so I've been reading a lot of their books on the Kindle, and it's been hard to get used to, but I'm like, I would rather have the books and read them than not read them, even though it's not my preferred way to read.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, if you think about so you think it's actually kind of nice to have, and I think radio was the same way when it was a thing, when it was more of a thing, I guess. Like the fact that you can do things while you're listening is huge. I think it's really
Yeah,
great.
I like to use my eyes for other things besides watch. I'm not a big television person personally.
Yep. Jamie's joined us. What's up, Jamie? How you doing? Good to see you. Now Art says podcasts are great. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, last audio series was the Bill Moyers interview. You see the comment? This is great. With Bill Moyers interview with Joseph Campbell, and Art Mays adds, podcasts are great, but I now believe everybody's a murderer. Yeah.
I know. I can't listen to murder stories on podcasts. Anything that induces paranoia, I can't handle at all because I get legit paranoid. I can't.
Yeah.
I get scared.
It is interesting. I mean, I listened to the original serial when it was out. It was phenomenal.
Oh, I did listen to that.
Yeah,
that was good.
Really good. But it was so intense that I just never got around to the second one because they released the second one and there was another one. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I was sitting on my phone. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll watch it. I'll listen to it this time. But it was like, it's a commitment. Like, cause like once you listen to one, you're like, well, what happens? Like, you just have to keep going, and
hook you.
Yeah. But what's up, Jamie? Jamie, good to see you, and Sarah, good to see you too. Who says how many of us are on Twitch instead of TV? I mean, yeah,
that's a good point.
I'm on that. I'm on that boat. I haven't. I'm so bad at TV now. Like it was already bad before the pandemic, and now it's like really bad. Now I might watch 1 or 2 episodes every month. Like how would you say your TV is?
Yeah, I don't watch television.
Oh
Like,
yeah, you mentioned that already. Yeah, that's true.
I see some series, like I have my dad's Netflix password, which sounds like it's only going to be available to me for a few more weeks based on Netflix's most recent decisions to like cancel password sharing. But I think I've seen a few things on Netflix. Like the one thing that I remember watching that I really liked was Arcane. That's part of my nerd foyer.
Okay.
That I really liked Arcane. But that, besides that, like I find myself like watching shows and not getting into them. I just don't have like the attention span. I think for me, and this probably is just more like how my brain is wired. Like I find, like a lot of people relax by watching television, but I find visual images to be overstimulating for me. And so like I find it to be very energizing. And if I watch TV, I can't sleep or relax at all. So I tend to do better with things that I can hear rather than things that I watch, just because like the way my brain is wired, like I find it too, I get overstimulated by watching things.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same idea. Like, like movies and TV are kind of in a similar position where I think once you get into it, you kind of need your entire attention on it, especially if it's like a really really textured show. So,
Yeah.
let me try to think of an example of that. Inception. Like, you need to really have all your attention on that movie. Like, you can't like put it on the
Yeah.
in the background and then like do the dishes. Like, you need to like watch the whole thing, or else
Right.
it's gonna make no
Very
sense.
intense.
Right. So, yeah, absolutely. Deep insight, absolutely. Smiles for life. Hello, all. Netflix banned password sharing in Canada a month or two ago. It ain't going good for them. Oh boy. Yeah,
I
but
know, I
Jamie,
wonder what'll happen.
yeah, I don't like this move by Netflix. Even though I know Netflix wants their money, I get it. But Jamie actually mentions that too. Jamie says Netflix hasn't found me yet, so good.
Yeah, last I checked, I still have it, but that was like 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago.
I think it's silly. Like, I know, I mean, I realize that people do abuse that sometimes, but I think it's
Yeah.
okay. It's fine to have like a family account. Like, let
I
people.
know, like, why can't you have like a nuclear family or like a certain number of devices?
Yeah.
Like Adobe does that really well. Like, I have Adobe Creative Suite and I can have it on 3 devices. So, like, that's my phone and my computer and
Yep.
like my iPad if I had one. But since I don't have it on an iPad, I can share it with one other computer.
Absolutely.
But like, I feel like Netflix should be that way, where you could almost like a phone plan where you can like add a family account, or like add, like, I think that you can have people in the same IP address, but you can't, like, if they're in your house, but you
Yeah,
can't
I don't love the
be
IP restriction
on
either
multiple.
because families don't often live in the same house. I
Yeah,
mean,
my dad and I don't live, we're like 45 minutes apart, but
yeah,
he's my nuclear family.
yeah, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
think millennials should be able to take advantage of mooching off their parents for as long as possible.
That's a good take. I can endorse that take. Sure, absolutely. Why not? Like,
I'm very pro millennial mooch.
All right, I respect. I mean, let's see, and and you can give back too in that area. Like, I've often been able to share accounts with my parents, and I'm so happy to do that. So
Yeah.
it's a mutual relationship, I think.
Mhm.
What if you have kids in college? I think I'm good with that too. Actually,
Yeah,
Gene.
college kids should totally be able
They can't use it
to
unless
take
you
off a
pay.
family.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think so. I agree with that, Jour. Steam is pro mooch as a Gen X. I approve, friend. Nice, nice. Apple enables family sharing of accounts. Yeah, I like it. Art news.
Right. I know.
Yeah,
It just kind of seems like Netflix almost got it right, but they didn't.
yeah.
I'm sure they talked about all of these
Oh
options.
yeah. I'm
Like,
sure.
there was a lot of people in the rooms doing math and
Hmm.
figuring that out and thinking that they came up with the best choice for their business model, but I think it's been a bitter pill.
It happens. Streaming platforms are trying to find ways to maximize income, and this is what can happen sometimes. Sometimes it takes a bad turn. Um, I'll give you a couple more thoughts on that, but Art did mention Mr. Ballon kills me, and adds, now that aliens are real, everything is up for grabs. And yeah, your J-Man says Arcane was so well done. We keep rolling through these.
Yes. Oh, beautifully done. That I don't know a lot about League of Legends itself as a game, but it has been explained to me that they put a lot of energy into their artwork and into like collaborating with multimedia,
Mhm.
and whether that's a show or music, or they have like the outfits for their characters and stuff like that, like that they collaborate with artists, and that they put a high value on artistry, which isn't maybe something that often comes up in a video game. And I'm not a big gamer, but I know a lot of people here on Twitch are. And, I think some games are like, they all shine for different reasons, but it's very cool when a game puts like that kind of effort into the artistry. And I appreciate that, like, League of Legends as a brand is investing in like these multimedia outlets like Arcane. I just can't wait for the second season. I'm like dying for it to come out.
So wait, so League of Legends is now a TV show too? Like, that's
Arcane was
Arcane's
made
based
by
on
the
that.
League of Legends brand,
Oh, got it. I got
and
you.
it's based on characters in their game.
They do have really great characters. I don't know if I League of Legends has been around a long time, like a really long time, like at least a dozen years at this point. So I'm quite familiar with some of the characters in the game and the game itself, because my friends and I, when I was working in a different organization, were big LOL fans. Like they would talk about playing League of Legends. I did League, I played League, I did this, and this is before the e-gaming for League of Legends exploded the way it did, and then it did. And so it's an awesome point and click game. It's really fun. So like I totally love the idea of making shows out of the characters. And as you saw,
Yeah, it's like backstories of so many of the characters that like don't get explained in like just like the battle.
Yeah. So as we keep going, I'd like to throw this question out to Jamie and Sarah and Steven and anybody else in our chat. I would love to get your thoughts on what is a TV show that you're watching right now that you really like and R2, like any of you in chat. Is there a show that you're still working on as we speak that you really like? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you in the chat. As we mentioned, Jour and I are not really up on TV, so we would gladly take your opinions on that in that matter. I can tell you what I'm up on as far as Twitch streamers. Like I can do that, but it would be a little tougher with TV. Reruns of Miami Vice. That's quality. I watched that show at once upon a time. Like there was, and not when it was out. Like, but I watched the show on reruns too. It's really good. Like it's surprisingly good. Like how long ago it came out. Like that's a really good one. Sarah's not watching anything. Respect, as mentioned. Like I'm probably in a similar boat with you. Art says Manifest. Ooh, and then Smiles 2 for Life. Star Wars: The Bad Batch, which I've heard is really good, and the mid 2010s TV show The Three Musketeers. I'm not familiar with. Sounds promising. Sarah says most recently started Stranger Things, like the first one, like the first season. Oh, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be good. Rob Kovacs, what's going on, Rob? How's it going? Welcome in. Hi, Rob. How are you? Thank you for the raid the other night. Thank Rob, by the way. And let's give our friend a shout out. Rob's gonna be our guest next week, I believe. Have I done that right? I do. Just checking my math. Like, yeah. Next week we're gonna have Rob on, so it'd be really great. So, yeah, it's good to see you. Hope you're well. So Jour, are you consuming some strawberry ketchup?
I'm eating. It was like I kind of had breakfast for dinner, so I was like, oh, to balance out my meal, I'll have more breakfast. And I had planned in advance, but I have a parfait, a yogurt parfait.
Oh, those are good.
It has chia in it, so I pre-mix the yogurt and the chia, and I use unsweetened yogurt, and I just add fruit, and it like makes it sweet. So I put the chia and the yogurt in the fridge in advance, and then the day that I want to eat it, I add the fruit.
Oh gosh, that is gonna be so good. That sounds so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm very much pro parfait. Is yogurt the ketchup of milk?
Yeah.
I think it is, right? I think it is.
Okay, but it's a ferment. I mean, if we're keeping ferments on the table.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Then yes, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
If we're taking ferments off the table, it doesn't have any vinegar in it.
Okay, that's true.
We still have to define our terms here. Is ketchup sugar, vinegar, and one substance else? Or is it... That's kind of how I'm defining it today.
I think a concrete definition is a good definition here. Absolutely. Let me go shout out. Mods, let's shout out Rob's. Oh, we did. Never mind. Thank you,
I feel like someone could just like Wikipedia ketchup and like ask the internet.
I think your definition is it's just like any other legislature, right? Or officiating in sports. You need to have clearly defined terms for what makes a ketchup a ketchup. Like if you make the more ambiguous you make it, the harder that's going to be to define. I think you're really on point with that, Jour. So like the idea that a parfait doesn't have vinegar in it defeats the idea of it being a ketchup. So from that standpoint,
Right, no vinegar.
That's right. That's on point.
However, let's say this. Let me refrain. Vinegar itself is a fermentation.
Oh.
So maybe a fermented milk product is a ketchup of milk. It doesn't have vinegar, but if vinegar is a fermentation, then we can't rule out fermented foods.
Mhm.
So I take that back.
So we have reinstated parfaits into the ketchup
Ketchup.
category. Phenomenal. And yogurt too, for that matter, for the exact same reason. So
Yeah.
King says someone right now is studying Yahoo Answers. Yeah, we're really digging deep into this tonight. Smiles says, I hope most here have seen the TV show Dark. I have not, but I heard good things. Dark versus Stranger Things is a good discussion. Which is better, or could use a more creative TV show? Oh my gosh, DallasArlo was just rated as holy cow. I have not watched Dark, but I like what I hear so far. And Steven says, Chia, is that where my Chia pet went? You monster!
I'm eating your pet.
Parfait. Dumb. Sorry.
I'm doing the raid dance here.
Let's do it. Thank you for the raid. I predict a riot. I predict a riot. DallasArlo, so good to see you. How's it going? How was your stream?
Hey, Raider.
Nice to see ya. My name's Davey. I'm a variety streamer out of Los Angeles, and this is the Sandwich Show. It's our variety channel. Tonight, we're having an interview with an awesome singer-songwriter, Jour, who's based out of the Midwestern U.S., also a purveyor of condiments. We've had a very extensive discussion about this tonight. How's it going, Dallas? How was your stream? Let's see. Stream was great. Did a bunch of new songs. Some of them will stick around. LOL. Love it.
Brave. I love doing new songs. That's cool.
It's exciting to get new songs in the song queue, so Dallas. So that's really cool. I'm glad your stream went well. Are you Michael Raffone twinsies? Hell yeah.
Yes. Brothers.
Absolutely. Separated at the, what was it? Like, separated at,
You're trying to come up with the right word for
yeah.
the microphone womb.
Couldn't come up with it. I can go with it. Dallas says, love a fellow Midwestern.
Separated at warehouse.
Yeah, there you go. Separated warehouse. But yeah, welcome in. So, folks in our chat, give our friend DallasArlo a follow. The chat is in there. A very good friend of ours here on the Sandwich Show. So definitely give our friend a follow. And those of you who joined us from the raid, a couple things. One, Jour just crossed 500 followers, but you can never have. Woo! Congratulations again. And yeah, give our friend a follow because she plays really, really good vibes on electric piano. Really good stuff. This is the big thing about Twitch, and I'm sure you would agree. I think the biggest way you can build a community is just have something distinctive that sets you apart. And I think the way you do music really does. Like, it's really the Jour take on any song is actually really fresh. I think it's pretty cool. Like, I will say I have heard some songs on your channel using the regular piano, but the idea that you lean towards the electric piano a lot is a move I like.
Thank you. Yeah, I do. It's honestly like, I guess I don't try to make myself distinct on purpose in any kind of way. It's just that I have a preference for Rhodes as a keyboard, and I find it just like an inspiring sound. It was really funny. There was an afternoon, so a long time ago, I used to run an arts collective, and we had kind of right within a year of when we first started, we like all pooled together our gear and we shared like a bunch of stuff. And one of our members had a Rhodes, like a real Rhodes keyboard. And I remember I had like an afternoon where I was like, okay, I've got a couple of songs that I need to write. I wanted to write a couple songs. And I think I had like maybe like a loose idea. I can't remember how prepared I came in, but I just had this access to this Rhodes keyboard. And it like usually songs take me like months to write, many weeks or many days, sometimes years to get to live enough life to write the rest of a song. But these two songs, I wrote them both back to back within like 6 hours. And it was just playing this Rhodes keyboard. And it was just the sound, I hadn't ever written on a Rhodes before. And the sound was just like so inspiring that I just like this music just like tumbled out of me, these words, these thoughts, these feelings. And they were very different songs. Yeah. like very different vibes. But I don't know. I just kind of I just really like how mellow it is. I
Mhm.
don't. I think sometimes, even though I'm like a native piano player, like I grew up playing piano since I was 4,
Uh-huh.
I still sometimes find the piano to be like a very harsh sound and almost too percussive for what I want to communicate.
Mhm.
Um, Even though I think piano is great under the right circumstances, it's just like I don't know. I enjoy a softer, more intimate sound, I guess, is how I feel about Rhodes and Wurlitzer and more electric piano sounds.
That's a great word for it. It adds a layer of intimacy to the sound. Going with the electric piano sound, it's quite remarkable. Now I know that playing something like that, there are different strategies I think that are involved, right? Because would you hold on to keys longer? Would you try to stab at it more? Like, what is there? Do you feel a difference there, or do you feel like just the
Hmm.
sound of it imparts what happens with the song?
Well, this is getting a little like technical, but um, like a piano, if you
Mhm.
think about the sound wave that's happening when you play a piano, like if you're playing a classic piano, just a regular piano, the attack is very fast. So the
Mhm.
amount of time it takes for the sound to be created is very fast. And the
Yep.
decay is pretty fast as
Mhm.
well. And you can hold a sustain pedal and that'll give it more reverb. So it kind of feels like it's lingering longer. But the sound itself is actually diminishing pretty quickly. And when you sustain something, it kind of, you have the attack, that's like the loudest point. It drops down. And if you hit the sustain, it kind of slows down how slow it goes or how the speed at which it disappears.
Mhm.
What I like about a Rhodes keyboard is it has a longer decay. It sustains
Ah.
the sound at a higher volume for
Mhm.
more time. And a piano is much more of like a peak and a valley kind of a sound. And a Rhodes keyboard or I would say a Wurlitzer is even more like a piano. It kind of is a shorter length, a shorter
Okay.
decay.
Okay.
But the Rhodes, it sustains much longer. It has like a more full sound. It resonates for longer. And so I just think it creates more ambiance in
Okay.
between each note that you play.
You mind if I cite some examples? Steeman has a great question too, and DallasArlo says, "I love Rhodes so much, Wurlitzer too." And yeah, and Jour made, and is Jour the way we would pronounce your name? This was asked earlier.
Yeah, so the name is French, Jordan. My name is Jordan, but my mom spelled it the French way. And I respond to Jour or Jour or
Okay.
the reason why the O has a slash is a long story and we can answer it if it needs to be answered later.
If we got the time, if you're willing to hang out for a little bit more, we can get to that. But before we
Yeah.
do, so if I were to point to some examples, so imagine if you've heard the song, "You're My Best Friend" by Queen, like the beginning of that song,
You're
which
my best friend.
mm-hmm. So it goes do 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 do. Which electric piano is being used in that intro, or would you know?
I actually don't know. I'm not familiar enough with the song
Okay.
off the top of my head. I mean,
Oh
I know that I know that I sing that to my best friend, but I don't know
yeah,
the whole song.
but it's if you were saying it's a longer attack, so it sounded based on the description, it sounds like it could be a Rhodes. Would anyone in the chat know, like what instrument that was? I would love to play it, but I would get DMCA struck immediately if I did, so I can't do that tonight. But um, might be a Wurlitzer. Oh, okay, Robert Kovacs with the. Thank you, Rob. Thank you so much for your input. I'll go look it up. I'll find out, and we'll find out. Okay, so let me try to think. So in other words, if I were to give you another one, would you have a feel for that? Let me see. So let's just play some for my piano. Let's just see. So if I play this one, or do you remember the song from Michael McDonald? I keep forgetting, like, I keep forgetting. Do you remember, or do you know Regulate, which is the same song? But
This is hard. This is like song trivia.
yeah,
um, let's see. I can give you some examples
okay,
of songs
absolutely,
that are Rhodes
okay,
songs
that'd be
originally.
great. Yeah, we'll take that.
Everything in Its Right Place by Radiohead is a Rhodes sound.
Oh,
What else? That's the first one that comes to mind. It's like it's like but now that I've got it in my mind, it's the only thing I can think of. Let's see, what else is Rhodes? Okay, Dreams. Oh, okay, no, Rhodes, you could do Rhiannon.
Okay. So hold on. You know what, folks? I'm gonna go rogue a little bit. I'm actually gonna play these clips because I don't think it's gonna make sense unless I do. So let's first play the Radiohead song. And by the way, thank you so much for your input, Rob and Sarah. Like Rob says, that's Rhodes, I'm pretty sure, as far as the I Keep Forgetting intro. That's awesome. I've always wondered about that. Sarah says a lot of stuff in Abbey Road. And
Sure.
yeah, this is a great niche conversation for sure. So here's everything.
Oh, Rob is saying, are you saying that they made the beginning of that Radiohead song is on the Prophet 5? That makes sense.
That would make sense. Let's hear it. Let's give it a listen for a bit. We'll play like just a few seconds. Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Can you hear that?
It's faint, but you don't want the strike.
Well, it's pretty clear on this end. I think that's just the noise cancellation. I'll have to turn that off. Let me see if I can do that. But yeah, I totally see that. Yeah, okay. And so you said that
might be the Prophet 5, but I think they're following the same principle, and synthesizers follow this. It's called the sound envelope, and it's the attack, sustain, decay.
Rob says the Prophet 5 has no touch sensitivity. All the notes are exactly the same volume. Ah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Wow. So that's it. Rob, thank you so much. Wow. We'll get into more detail on this. This is a really great segue to next week, actually, too. So, okay. So now the next one that you mentioned, let's get that one.
Rhiannon by
yes,
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac. Now you were saying this is a Rhodes or
this is a Rhodes keyboard.
Let's hear it, folks.
It's going to be more like the bling blong bling blong. It's kind of more texture than anything.
Oh, over there it is. You hear it? Right there. Yeah. Okay. So,
and at a higher register, Rhodes has more of like a chimey sound, almost like has a bellish quality to it as well.
Oh, nice. Thank you for corroborating.
Which I like because it adds more texture, more attack to the sound. So it's not just this soft sound all the time. It's got more attack if you give it more.
Let me play one more, and anybody in the chat. So Rob says that is it. Thank you so much. Now, would this also be a Rhodes? Let me play this and see what you think. I forgot how long this intro was. Okay. That's rain. It sure is. Oh, there you go.
Is it just me? This sounds like it's either an organ or a Wurlitzer, maybe.
Yeah, you're right. I think yeah, I think this seems more Wurlitzer to me too. Yeah. Rob says this might be Wurlitzer. Okay. So no, it's not a Fender Rhodes. But see, that's really good ear on your end, because you're right. I think that actually was. And, everyone else is saying.
Well, and there's some slight differences. And the Wurlitzer is more of a gritty sound. So the Rhodes was like a soft, chimey sound, and the Wurlitzer is more of a growl, I would say. It's subtle, but it's like it's got. And the Wurlitzer is an organ. It's a form of an organ, or it's from an organ company, I should say.
Yeah.
But it has a more gritty tone to it, and the notes are shorter, like they decay faster. And if I think about the shape of a Rhodes, I think of it as being like this. And when I think of a shape of a Wurlitzer tone, it's more like this.
Yeah,
If you want to
'cause
get like,
it
if
kind
you
of
want to use like
lingers more.
synesthesia and see it.
It does kind of like linger more, right? So
Yeah.
help me if would you mind helping me with a little more? Let's do this one and see what you think. Let me know which one you think this one is. And that goes for anyone in chat too. So we'll play this out.
This sounds like a synthesizer to me.
Oh. So this is Eye in the Sky, for those who are wondering, from Alan Parsons' project. Well, thank you, Steven. Glad to. Okay, so we'll stop there. Okay. So I don't have anything.
Does anybody else have an opinion on that? Like, that sounds like a synthesizer to me. Like, if I were to play that live, I would probably play a Wurlitzer. But but like, if I had to, I'd probably create a synthesizer sound to play that.
All right. Rob says I think it's synth too. So this will be really interesting for me to look up. That doesn't sound like either shape you made with your hands. Just for homo. Like, this is the shape of one of them. Like, that sounds pleasant. Sarah says this is helpful. Okay, so Jour, is there another song you'd like to recommend, that like one from Feist perhaps? So would there be any songs from Feist that have an electric piano in them?
So Feist is a guitar player, and every song of hers that I interpret on piano. But she plays guitar, so she doesn't really have. I mean, I think she does have some songs. Let's see. Okay, Limit to Your Love is definitely a piano song, like pure piano.
Wow.
I feel like she's got a couple that are, but they're older, like from her album with the prism on it. I can't think of.
So let's see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there were both in that song. It's not just the electric piano. I think I heard both of them in the same track. Rob says, Wikipedia says it has a Wurlitzer, probably with a phaser on it. Oh, there's also something in that song, which I believe is right. So Rob Kovacs.
Yeah, so when I hear the Alan Parsons project or the Stephen Parsons project song, the thing that comes to mind, like what Rob is just saying with a phaser on it, is like the reason I didn't think it was a whirly right away is because this is going to be super stupid technical, but like the like harmonic envelope on it. It's like, so in synthesis, you're working with like the volume has an envelope, the pitch has an envelope, and then there's like a I can't think of the word for the harmonics one right now off the top of my head, but there's like a harmonics envelope. And so actually I have not my synth. Okay, my synth is right here and I have the words.
Okay. Let's go ahead and take a moment for it. Smile says, sorry, I had to go do something sad. And I had the chance when I lived in England that I was never able to see Radiohead live. Oh, wow.
It's called the filter envelope. And so it's filtering harmonics or frequencies basically. But attack, decay, sustain, and release. And so like on this song that like when that Wurlitzer was playing that Rob just pointed out with a phaser, that changes like the it's so hard to explain. I had to like study for a while to even get my brain around this stuff. But it's essentially it changes the like if you think about a sound, it has its pitch, which is like but then there's like the volume, which is how loud and how quiet it is. And then there's the frequency or like the harmonics, which essentially is like, if I were to give a really like brutish example, it's like the sound on top of the sound that's like it's like the buzziness of the sound.
Whoa.
And then like how that buzziness changes over the length of the sound that you're hearing. is that
These almost sound like this,
is
like a
the
discussion of
envelope.
Moog, like Moog synthesizers right now, like these sound waves, and this is great. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. It's like, so I'm sure like people are like, this is boring. She's too technical. But it's the reason I'm probably bringing it up is because it took me so long to understand it, and I wish someone had just explained it to me.
Mhm.
And people are like, just play around, you'll figure it out. But there's so many goddamn buttons. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with all these?
There really are. I'm not gonna. There's no doubt. But I love
Like,
it.
I don't know where to start.
Yeah, I do want to make a
I
point.
I didn't want to just twist stuff and then be like, how did I get here and
Yeah.
never be able to recreate it. So I ended up like doing a little program I studied to try to understand it better called Centorial, which was like a real game changer for me.
Wild.
And that made me like feel more literate
Uh-huh.
in synthesizers. But
That's
I don't know. I would say I'm just like, I know street language. It's like donde está el baño. That's how good I am at synth.
You know what? There are people that probably, yeah, I hear you. There's a lot though. There's a lot to learn, and it's really remarkable, like to see how these things are composed, how these sounds are composed, and you know, and I know Rob has a lot of experience playing video game music, so he would certainly know some of this too, because if you remember, the NES had very different types of waves. You have a square wave, you have a noise wave, and then there are two others that I don't exactly know off the top of my head.
Triangle.
Oh, triangle!
Sine,
Yeah, that is one.
Sawtooth.
Yes.
Which a sine wave is really just a soft triangle wave. But
Never knew that.
sawtooth is shaped like this.
Mhm.
Triangle wave, and then you got your square.
Yeah. So
Your sine wave.
it's pretty cool that you can create so much great music out of these basic waveforms. It's really, really good stuff. Let me ask the question from Steeman, and then we'll keep going with this topic. But the question is, are there instruments that you'd find musically intimate that you'd like to share with the community?
So like the Rhodes itself and like softer piano sounds I do find, but I do think that like a quiet ballad on the piano can be incredibly intimate if it's played correctly. I think finger picking on a guitar can be incredibly intimate. And usually like we equate intimacy maybe with volume. And I still think a song can be intimate even when it's being loud. But I think there's like a fine line to draw between like intimacy and vulnerability in music. And sometimes they overlap. And then like sometimes they're separate. And so like I think that you can, you know, experience vulnerability on an instrument like a ukulele because it's has only 4 strings, and it's such a like there's so little sound that's coming out of it, and there's so few like harmonics available from 4 strings, but it's in each chord. But I also think it's very vulnerable because it doesn't have as much presence. But I don't know if that like automatically makes it intimate. Subs.
Yo, thank you so
Thank
much,
you, Anonymous.
Anonymous. Thank you for the 5 gift subs. Holy moly! You're very, very kind. Thank you so much, Anon. Holy mackerel, that's completely unexpected. But thank you so much, whoever you are. If I knew who you were, I would be glad to. Well, I would be glad to do anything, like, you know, I don't know, extra bean boozled beans or something like that, or whatever. Like, but it's good to see. Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you so much. You're really kind. But anyway, keep going. Like, I love this breakdown.
Yeah, so I think, you know, I guess I'm like explaining more than the question asked, but maybe by explaining what it's not, like that I think intimacy, for instance, on a ukulele, you could have an intimate moment on a ukulele, but it's not automatically intimate because it's quiet. I think it's more on the vulnerable side of that spectrum because it's quiet and it's not very full. You know, I think, you know, I have friends who are very artistic drummers, and I can experience like an intimate moment while they are playing their drums in a certain way. And usually, again, it is a more contemplative type of playing. But I think maybe that's the other side of the spectrum, or a piece of that spectrum that I would throw into this word salad, is like there's vulnerability, there's like contemplative mood from the person playing. But I think that I find the most intimacy in music when a performer and when I myself am being immersive in my own experience with the music. So like I would say there's a lot of times on Twitch when I am playing and I'm not playing intimately because I'm like reading a chord chart, I'm learning chords, I'm reading words, and I might be playing an intimate instrument like the Rhodes, which I find to be more of an intimate instrument. But it's not going to be intimate until I feel very familiar with the song and I can like embody that while that song and its words or its mood or its vibe, like while I'm playing it. So I guess like more than an instrument specifically, it's like the experience that the person performing is creating. Like that's maybe how I would define intimacy with music. Because I have seen people be intimate as a player, as a performer on something as loud as the drums, on something as, loud as a trombone or a trumpet. But it has a lot more to do with how the player performer is interacting with the substance of the music itself, and then how they are sharing it with the people who are present. I know that's a little esoteric. I hope that's answers your question.
I think it's a very good. I think it's really great insight. And Steven says, "Thank you so much for sharing." Thank you for the question too, Steven. Great question.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah. Rohomo asks, anything? Well, yeah, anything. But since it's anonymous, we'll never know what the anonymous would have asked for it anymore. So
yeah, and if somebody claims to be anonymous, we won't know if they're lying or not.
Let's see. Now Rob Kovacs had a really, really good breakdown of the waves that were involved in NES video games from way back when the Nintendo was the thing. And for its time, it was really advanced music because you could get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 channels. So there are 2 square waves, 1 triangle wave, a noise wave, which is usually used for drums, like, and then there's actually a DPCM sample channel. So you actually could do samples, but they were really short because it was 8-bit technology. But yeah,
Right.
but it did open the door for a lot of stuff. Like you could have actual speech in the game, like it was pretty wild. It's actually surprisingly advanced for its time, and when you really go back and think about it. So let's see, anything else? I think that's it. I think we'll call it. We'll close the queue. But Jour, this has been, and I really appreciate the theory towards the end too. What an incredible journey. Like it's.
I hope that was okay. I didn't mean to like.
No, it was. We
too
were
heady.
Oh no, I no shame. No problem at all. Like in fact, I think the chat was really, really into it. Like we were very much fascinated by this journey. Steven says, "I loved it." I did too.
Good.
Yeah. So King says we lift for heavy. Yeah, Rob Kovacs gave you a clap too. We approve.
Oh no, I nerded out.
Smiles' technical talk is great.
You could really say Rohomo, oh no, I nerded out.
Rohomo, I love it, Jour. I love it. That's pretty good. Do you ever go to I'm just asking something completely silly. Do you ever go to a restaurant and tell people in your family or your friends or whoever you're with, they're like, hey, you know what? Let's go have the soup to me.
The soup to me. No, but people make the soup de jour joke a lot.
Oh, I
and
gotcha.
it's a good joke. That is how, if people don't know how to pronounce the name, I'm like, it's the same. It's whatever you want it to be. Soup de jour, soup de jour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little more jour than jour, but I'll take it.
Jour? Jour on the right track. I like it. Sweet.
See, there's so many good jokes.
I love it. Smiles, thank you so much for lurking last week too. That's really great. Yeah. When was that? I'm trying to remember when I did that. I think that was Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. That was a fun time. Thank you, Smiles. I really appreciate that. King says she really does put the vibe in vibrant, right? I'm telling you, absolutely.
Thank you.
I love it. So, Jour, friends, if you're joining us, like I do want to mention, Jour is just reached 500 followers, and if you want to catch her stream, tell us where we can find you, when we can find you.
Okay, tomorrow I'll stream at 3:30 Central Standard Time, USA, and I usually stream for about 3 hours on Tuesdays. I am typically also streaming on Thursdays, but it is my grandmother's 90th birthday this week, so I won't be here this week on Thursday. But Tuesdays and Thursdays in the afternoons is the best time to find me. That is USA afternoons. Or I guess mornings if you're Rahomo and you live in California.
Oh, right. It's like close to afternoon, though, I suppose. It's pretty,
late morning.
Late morning, yeah. Right on. So, yeah, and Jour, I know you mentioned you celebrated 6 months fairly recently, so November will be, that's a bit of a ways. I guess we won't promote yet, but you know.
May was my 6-month anniversary.
Well, happy 6 months. Happy 500. And here's to many more in both areas, too. And I think it's, I feel like it's in hand for sure. Like, it's a great spot. Steven says, Ms. Jour, I look forward to your next stream. Is there a link? Oh, yeah. Let's go. Mods, can we put the exclamation point guest command?
Oh, yes, please.
There we
Join
go.
us tomorrow.
There is the link to Jour's channel. Definitely. Thank you, Rahomo, for the link. Jour, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for hanging out. This has been really great.
I'm really glad you asked me to join. This is a blast, and it's been so nice to meet more of you. I appreciate you guys hanging. And Rob, I hope that you have a really good time with Davey next week, right?
Yep, you got it. Rob will be here next week at roughly the same time, too, like 9 o'clock Eastern on this channel. So it'll be really great to hear from you tonight. Oh, hey, wait, hedgehogs.
We didn't get into hedgehogs at all.
Yeah, well, I'm too, Rob. I'm really excited to chat with you. We can continue the discussion of video game music and sine waves and the mechanics of synthesizers. Like, this is, Jour, I really appreciate you getting the ball rolling on that. What a cool conversation.
Yeah. I'll be so curious to see what Rob has to say about it, because I'm sure, Rob, you have, like I said, I'm like a Tango Hombre version. Like, I have like the walking dictionary, travel dictionary version of synths under my belt. So I feel like you're probably way more proficient, and I'd be so curious what you have to say about it.
Yeah, for sure. And Rob, thank you so much for your kind words. Glad I could drop in today. Enjoyed the interview. Well, we enjoyed having your company. I checked out some of your music, Jour, and you sound great. That's awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, your produced versions of your songs are phenomenal. Like, they're really good. They're very fresh.
I know. I have been so grateful. That producer who did both my second and third record was nominated for a Best Producer Award. Didn't win it, but did get nominated for the second record. It was really cool.
That is very cool. By the way, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but on that Twitch page, you'll also see a link to Jour's what did I say, Spotify at this point? Maybe I'm...
Yeah, I'm on Spotify, and like you can listen on other places too. There's Bandcamp or Apple Music or wherever.
And so really great to see you tonight. So Jour, I think the last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna thank some people, and so let's go thank everybody in the credits, and let me see, to do that appropriately. We're gonna go push this button over here. There we go. Uh-oh. My stream is freezing. Am I getting jerky on your end? Or is it just my OBS? Okay.
Moderators.
Yeah, big time.
Thank you, Mod Love.
Big time.
Love to mods. Rahomo, thank you.
Big time.
Rahomo double modding tonight.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Drop frames. Okay. Yeah, Mod's gonna take care of that too. Mod Love in the chat, everybody. Thank you. So yeah, Mod Love, everybody. Mod Love command. It seems to be that time of the night again where my stream apparently is getting really choppy.
Sleepy.
Yeah. Oh, Jerry, what's going on? Aphoticphoton. Shout out to Aphoticphoton. Good to see you tonight too. Welcome in, my friend. So good to see you. All right, so we're back to so Jour, is there any place you'd be interested in rating tonight? Like I don't really have any real feel for it, so I'd love to get your advice in that area.
I'm like guest starring, so I actually can't see who's live right now.
Oh, okay.
But let me pull Twitch up over here.
Take your time. Oh, nice. Jerry says, finish the book I've been reading this past week. Folks, give our friend Aphoticphoton a follow as well. He takes some really, really good photos, you all. So if you want to see some of that and some of the other things our friend Jerry does, definitely give him a follow.
Okay, one person I really enjoy is New Baroque. They play violin
okay.
and they are pretty big nerds too.
Well, that would
Yeah.
certainly be in line with what we all will be doing tonight. I love it. Let's see. Okay. Anyone else that comes to mind off the top of your head in addition? I think that's good though. I wouldn't just go with that. Seems pretty good. We've been, and yeah, I know this channel for which you speak too, and it's a very cozy hang, which would be very consistent with what Jour music has. Yeah. Okay. Everybody's sold. Everybody's in. I love it. Okay. Let's do it. Well, thanks everybody. Let's go hang out with New Baroque. Copy the raid calls, everybody. Thank you so much, Jour. This has been a pleasure.
So super fun today.
Thank you. And folks, copy the raid calls. We're gonna go hang out with New Baroque. Give our friend a follow if you're not already. And let's ask. We could even ask him if you really want to. We could even ask New Baroque about condiments. That's certainly acceptable. I don't know how they're gonna field it, but you certainly can. We can certainly talk about it. Is there a raid call for the guest? I don't. Sometimes we do that, but I haven't really had. I didn't have the time to put that together tonight. So let's go with the regulars for tonight. Or do you? Oh, I see what you're saying. I think maybe what Steam is saying. Where is the channel? Let's go do that, and I'll just go Baroque. I think is how you do it. Yeah.
It looks like it's New Baroque's dog's birthday today.
Really?
Which is pretty amazing.
That's even all the more reason to go. All the more reason to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the raid, folks. Thank you again. Have a great rest of your night. We'll be back on Wednesday. We're gonna talk golf on Wednesday. We're gonna do a golf podcast with my buddies, and then Friday I'll update you on what happens then. And then Monday next week we're hanging out with Rob Kovacs. And Thursday, this is big. Thursday, Discord ! Discord. We will have a movie night. We're gonna watch Hook. It's gonna be great. Wait, New Bork?
Rufio.
Yes, Rufio for sure. I like this a lot. Rahomo has backed me up on this one. Thank you, Rahomo, for the check out the New Bork raid command. I love it. Okay, we'll go. Let's use that for the raid command. New Bork, folks, for New Baroque. I like it.
There's a lot of choices.
Yeah. Let me see. Can I do like a? I love it. Okay, let's go ahead and start the raid. Let me just click the button and we'll get going. New Baroque. Thank you again, Jour. This has been really fun.
Yeah, what a pleasure.
And we'll
Okay, this is totally annoying, stupid technical question, but like, do I have to like stop being a guest star for you to raid out?
No. You can stay on it. You can stay on.
Okay.
That's a great question. Great question. Yeah, we can talk a little bit after stream too. So we're gonna click the button to raid over. Oh my goodness, Big Bill Hundo! Thank you for the resub.
Hey.
3 months. Holy cow! Thank you for joining us, Big. I'm sorry we're raiding right now, Bill, but so good to see you. Mods, give me quickly a shout out, Big Bill Hundo. Oh no! Good morning, all. Damn it! Oh, I'm so sorry. We'll have a VOD up though. So it's all right. No worries, Bill. Yeah, but if you can quickly follow Big Bill Hundo, our friend, man, he has such a good voice. Go. Good to see you, Big Bill Hundo. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you at New Baroque. As I mentioned, make sure to follow our friend there and his other friend who's celebrating a birthday today. His dog's having a birthday. Let's go wish him happy birthday. Take care, everyone. All right, copy the raid calls.
Cheers.
Yeah, let me get the raid calls too. Although we should probably do New Bork, but that'll be fine too. Yeah, New Bork is good. Okay, bye everybody. We'll see you there. Make sure to follow. Bye everyone.